think we might be streaming. It's fine. Keep going.
Jiggity check.
I don't know what happened there, people, but we got back on.
We on?
Yeah, we're back on. Fuck with the internet this way.
So we're back.
I don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened, but we're back. Mr. Science is here. It's been 2 weeks.
What's her name there from YouTube? She kicked us off.
Susan Jawowski. God damn it, Susan.
Shit. I don't know what happened.
Last week we had to take off because we had to move my mom. I don't know if we got that out in the first.
I think I might re-edit them together.
Edit
Come
them
on,
together.
get out of here.
Who's that? Yeah, right.
I'm trying to fucking.
Try.
We're gonna have to start from scratch and build a whole new audience. Nobody's watching. We fucking have technical difficulty. Reduced to begging, Biden travels to Saudi Arabia. I'm just going to read the YouTube things while you do that. Best TikTok of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
You could put cocaine.
Turd. Amber Turd.
I still don't really know who she is, but
She was in the Aquaman movie.
I guess
The girl. That's like her only big picture. I guess
That
she
was it?
met. I guess she met Johnny on the Rum Diaries, which I never even watched that movie. Which I don't know why, because I'm a pretty big Hunter S. Thompson fan.
He did the adrenochrome.
He did do the adrenochrome. Makes what do you say? It makes mescaline look like ginger beer.
He did say that, didn't he?
Well, that was a part of the script there. Okay, so last 2 weeks, as Barney plays his lullaby,
2 weeks.
there was lots of news.
Lots
we
of
didn't
news.
cover, but as far as our lives go, in the small town of Saugerties,
Saugerties, New York.
I can't even remember 2 weeks ago.
I feel like the population's doubled in the last 2 weeks.
From summertime.
Yeah. All
Summertime.
right, so here's something. I went and bought a car this week, right?
Okay.
I got the Chevy Impala. Every dealer I went to told me that there was a buyer's rush going on in the whole area because people are coming up from the city who've never had cars before and suddenly realize they need a car. So they go and buy a car, which means that the city market in cars is dead, but this market is good. So
you got to go to the city to buy a car.
You gotta go to the city to buy a car. You're gonna pay city prices up here anyway because they're moving them up.
We got to are these volumes low again?
Low again.
They look like they're low. I did watch a part of the broadcast where people are like, "Oh, they're low,
Low.
and it was a little low.
Little low.
That's why I feel like we got to talk right into the mics.
Right.
Maybe I
into
should turn the headphones down a little bit so it makes it easier.
it. If you want, yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not listening, so
I'm not even watching.
I'm not even watching. Doesn't matter. We got one guy out there. Thanks for watching, whoever you are.
It's probably you on your laptop.
It is.
It is me.
I'm watching.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. So there was a very highly, well, let's keep local before we go national here, I guess. So this week I did some concrete. We did a little fucking basement project with Jasper, and it was fucking like hell. It was hell.
It was interesting to watch.
You should have went down into the basement to
I
see
wasn't
what
gonna
it looked
go in
like.
there.
It was you couldn't even breathe. You're trying to walk down the stairs,
Uh-huh.
and within the first foot, you're just like, nope. You got to turn around, and go
It's
get
all
a mask.
powdered. Your
It was
face.
just fumes from the shotcrete and dust from rebound and concrete flying through the air, all that shit.
It took me a second to realize what the hell you guys were doing. I'm like, where the hell is this fucking concrete going?
Where the fuck? Yeah. Yep. It was going into Jasper's concrete pump and then getting
Push down the
pushed
pipe.
through a hole at about 2,000
Yeah.
pounds per square inch through a fucking 3-inch. Was it 2? No, 2-inch rubber hose.
Then I realized, they must be redoing the fucking basement.
Yeah, a lot of water damage down there where the walls got all sopping wet and all the cinder block kind of corroded.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did is put a bunch of mesh over the walls, and then we shot about 6 inches to 8 inches over the whole fucking wall.
Does he own that house?
He does, yes.
Oh, all right. I
Yeah.
know that.
So that was my day yesterday, and it left me fully fucked. I tried to go to sleep last night, and I was so tired I passed out for about 2 hours, and then I woke up at 1 o'clock and stayed up till 7 because I couldn't go back to sleep.
That sucks.
Fucking big time.
You know, I got the car. I stopped at Chris's. I stopped here. I drove around for like 15, 20 minutes, and I realized I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm just driving around.
You should have went to like a back road and just started racing it, like doing time trials. Oh fuck
Pig
it.
slips.
Yeah. Fast and the Furious. Too fast, too furious. And during the trip last week, we had Christopher with us, and it was a fucking awesome ride
I'm
down.
glad you guys had a good time.
Pretty good ride back too,
My
even
uncle
though
enjoyed your company.
good. He's a good guy. He's a very good guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely has been reeled in by mainstream media
Yes,
a
he
little bit,
has.
but what are you gonna do? Everybody wants to stay in that. It's basically a friggin' illusion of like caged. This is real news.
Yeah.
These journalists went to school, and
Right.
it's like that don't mean they want to tell you the
mean,
truth.
And then if in the case of Anderson Cooper, he went to CIA school.
Yeah, I like that you told him that, and he didn't know what to say. He was
I'm
just like
he's a fucking goddamn.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, fucking trained by the CIA. It's facts. You can look that up.
That's not even. Yeah.
It's not debatable.
That's not. It's not conspiracy. That's on his resume.
But we come up with some good spots for the show that unfortunately we haven't gotten to shoot yet. But
that one spot was good, and I think that's for a really good cause, because I think that's really tragic that these Gopniks, they all got genes now because of the war in Ukraine, and they can't squat, so they need tracksuits. So we got to send a Diddy's tracksuits to Ukraine as fast as possible. We're gonna get some advertisements up for that.
we're gonna start a fundraiser,
Start
tracksuits for
collecting.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Hmm. Anybody wants to donate, just send it our way, and we'll make sure it gets to them.
Yeah, only Adidas though. Only Adidas.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a custom print. It's gonna be camouflage Ukrainian colors.
So you can hide in the flag.
Yep. Did you hear they took the fucking the Azov
Italian.
patches off and put it on a fucking unicorn? Like,
What?
I gotta look this article up. Unicorn Brigade on. Wait, what the fuck is it? Oh, and also, I mean, we're already getting into news, but there's fucking shit. This kind of goes hand in hand with the LGBTQ month stuff. But so, anyways, oh man, they put a unicorn patch on their uniform, I guess. The Ukrainians to replace their Azov battalion fucking patch. And it's fucking as ridiculous as the U.S. Marine Corps fucking post they put out on Twitter, which was the helmet with fucking rainbow-colored bullets on the fucking
God. This is such a fucking grift. It's unbelievable. It's such a strange thing. Like a sexual preference has a month. That's weird. Like, I prefer doggy style. Did I get a month? What the fuck?
Doggy style month for Barnes. Anyone?
Threesome month for Barnes.
insanity though. Like the it looks like, it's a Marine helmet. Might as well be like the Full Metal Jacket fucking
Right, right.
movie poster, but it's got bullets on the helmet that are the rainbow colors,
That's
red,
I did see that
yellow,
actually.
orange.
I didn't
And
realize it was Marines.
and as someone pointed out, it's when satire becomes reality.
Oh yeah.
And it's like there used to be the meme where it was like Republicans sending Republican war or whatever, and it was a plane and it had a bunch of bombs coming down.
And then
And it's the Democrats and it's got a rainbow on the fucking on the bomber.
Bombs say love on them.
Yeah. What the fuck's the difference?
I don't know. It's like, well, a lot of people's political ideologies are lining up with Walmart, which just fucking makes. Whenever I line up with big corporations, I'm like, wait a second, what's going on?
That's why a lot of people think like Johnny Rotten, for example. He's like, you think you're fucking a anti whatever establishment person? Well, everything that's coming out of your mouth matches up with the establishment.
Exactly.
You're fucking fucked.
And that's a guy when his band was at their peak. He said, fuck it.
So, anyways, back to local. We had a great trip down to Philly.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Chris, you should be here on the show right now, but you're not. Why the fuck not?
He went to
Oh, he had something to do. That's right.
he went to go see Paul McCartney in Syracuse with Jeffrey.
I heard about that.
Went to Jeffers.
Chris went over to Jeffers to go see the Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. 35,000 people sold out.
Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syracuse isn't even that big. They're like fucking, it's a quarter of the population or something. I can't stand Syracuse, by the way.
Why?
It's just a shithole.
Okay.
But the college is nice.
It's a pretty fucked up city.
Same thing with Utica. Like, that's a depressing place.
Rochester, you like?
I've never spent a lot of time in Rochester. A little bit in Riga, which is outside of Rochester, but Batavia a little bit.
Went to Rochester. Met a bunch of woke people, Antifa kids.
Oh, all right.
And I was just like, yeah, this was years ago. This had to be like 3-4 years ago. I was hanging out with these people, and I'm just like, yep, yeah, we're fucked. I was nice enough to every one of them and everything, but they just, they talk to you in contradictions, and they don't even realize it.
Right.
They're sitting there with like fuck capitalism, and they're buying Coca-Colas with their fucking with their credit cards.
It's so fucking like, hello.
Get into the woods or, start growing a farm, motherfucker.
I saw the Daily Wire's new movie. I was kind of skipping.
What is a Woman?
Yeah.
You watched that? Do you have a subscription? Or?
No, I don't.
I need to watch. I mean, I haven't seen 2000 Mules, and
I sent you a link to 2000 Mules.
Oh, I better look it up. But yeah, how was what is a woman? I bet it's fucking phenomenal.
It's makes you want to bang your head against the wall because these fucking people just talk circles. Like,
they're insane. They're like
insane.
you could probably, like, if it was 10 years ago, have them committed for legal insanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's this one woman. She's a pediatrist or whatever. Kids doctor, and she specializes in transitioning people and da da da. And she was going on. I think if I had a little boy, it told me that he was a girl, and the guy's like, what do you mean by little boy?
And she's just like,
yeah. And then it's just constant. And then he's like, define woman for me, and she can't. And it's just like, how are you helping people transition to women if you can't even define it? Like,
I saw the previews, and I just loved like some of the stuff that he was like, define a woman for me. He's like, only women can define, as a transgender. And it was like, only women can define what a woman is. And he goes, what's a cat? And she just like puts her head down, walks away. I don't know if that was just like fancy editing, but for real,
that happened in live time.
It's like, how can you can't define something? Well, then it's a fucking there's a problem if you can't define something. Like it's not like cutting fucking like edge like particles in fucking, the CERN or something like that.
Yeah, I when I first noticed that was when people were going on about fascism. I was like Giovanni Gentile fascism, like what are you talking?
And they couldn't define it.
Yeah, Francis Yoki type fascism, fucking Sir fucking Moses, whatever the fuck his name is.
Well, we definitely have a big problem with people not being able to admit they don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know. This is how bad it was. So the bookstore in town had, um, there's a guy who wrote the warning signs of fascism, right? And so they had this poster on uh, the window at the bookstore, and historically, fascism's done some fucked up things. Doesn't make it inherently fucked up or nothing, but it can be. I could see where it definitely can be. But historically, it's been bad, and so he had this professor's 14 warning signs of fascism or whatever, and I looked at it and I'm like, absolutely none of this is in the protocols of fascism. It's like I think he made it up. So I went inside the bookstore. I'm like, hey, do you got any books by Cornelius Cadreno or uh, you know Gentile, the guys who actually came up with fascism? I'm like, no. So
Yeah.
I could only read this professor's
Bullshit.
interpretation of historical fascism of regimes, and that's legitimate. But it's not part of the philosophy or
It's not in full context.
it's not. No, it's just a critique basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, how do you have that sign in if I can't come in?" And
That's scary, and I've never seen it like that. It's like a curated knowledge bookstore.
It is, and there was a guy in England. There's two guys, Francis Yoki. He was actually just like a journalist, but he was American, and he was a fascist. Well, three guys, I guess. And then there was the Francis Charles Coughlin, right? He was a Catholic priest. He actually popularized the term social justice in North America, and he was a self-proclaimed fascist. He actually was the one who outed Vice President Wallace, who was FDR's vice president, and Father Charles Coughlin said, Wallace he's a fucking communist, and so then Wallace set about to ruin this guy's career, Father Charles Coughlin. He did run for president, he lost, and he shut down Coughlin, the vice president Wallace did, Henry Wallace, and eventually it turned out that Father Charles Coughlin's accusations about Wallace were correct, and Wallace stepped down, and that's how we got Truman.
Wow.
And did you know that Truman, after being president, what his next job was? Just take a guess.
His next job, I don't know, fucking president of GE, fucking, I don't know. That's a guess.
He was a grocery store manager.
Grocery store manager.
Yep. He signed off to drop the bomb, and then signed off.
I think you told me this a couple months ago, and I forgot.
It's absurd.
Well, that's called salt of the earth.
Oh yes, but how did he get to that position? That he was like chosen for it, like
chosen what, to be a grocery clerk?
No, but he went from government and being president to a grocery store fucking manager. There was another guy.
What grocery store?
Someplace in Indiana, I think, or maybe Iowa. I forget where Truman's from. There's another guy, Sir Mosley, right? And he was an English guy, and he was a fascist, and he talked about it a lot. So there's a lot of sources out there in English where you can learn what fascism actually is.
Okay.
The problem with fascism is it was originally written in Italian. Not a lot of people had interest in fucking translating for obvious reasons. And because of that, I feel like here they've kind of hid it from us because they've been doing it. The military-industrial complex is all fascistic. It's all the government backing big businesses for mutual gain.
Yeah, and now we're like going towards where big business is going to eclipse the
Oh
governments.
yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
WEF is all about,
Yep.
World Economic Forum. And speaking of,
It's already happened to some extent, you know.
yeah, Klaus Schwab. I mean, he brags about getting friggin' Justin Trudeau and penetrating cabinets around the
Yes,
world.
he has bragged about that.
It's fucking disgusting. And
Um,
people act like you're a fucking conspiracy theorist, right wing fucking maniac for just reporting actual facts.
Actual facts, and that's because the narrative's gone off the hinge, you know. And that's like when people are writing that the science changes. Well, where the fuck were you 6 months ago when science was changing?
Yeah,
Why didn't you say that then instead of bitching at people and yelling at them?
yeah.
That shit makes me so angry because these people are so fake and so unaware of what they're doing. Like they have no self-awareness whatsoever. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I got a little angry about that one.
No, I'm angry about it too because these people are Johnny come latelys, and you're out there telling them information 6 months to a year before they finally figure it the fuck
Yes.
out, and then they still attack you when you say
Yes,
something,
and
the
they
next
still
new
do.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you got Bill Gates saying fucking, well, Corona turned out to be much like the flu. And it's like,
All right.
there we go.
We said that.
That motherfucker said it. Now I want you to admit I was right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this and I love it. It's like we're going right now through the longest, most painful I told you so ever in my entire life.
And you know, that's part of the problem because people's identities have gotten wrapped up in these ideas, and therefore it's hard for them to admit that they're wrong because their identities.
Their identity led them, not their fucking their critical thinking.
Right, their identity's on the line with it because they've identified with this thing so much. That's probably the problem with identity politics.
Yeah, it really is major part of the problem because it's tribal, of course. Everybody's
It's absolutely tribal.
Yeah, and the same goes for it's for both sides. It's like when you have the people that probably could care less about fucking say a left wing issue, but they're against it because they're just identifying as a Republican.
Or
And
whatever.
it's like, yeah, just have an open mind, which I think is probably a little overblown as far as like how many, how bad. Of course, it's overblown. How bad the left makes the right seem. They think like they're a threat to democracy.
Oh, that shit's gone crazy. How
Yeah.
bad the left thinks the right is. They've gone the Nazis and racist and sexist, and
I mean, that's just their whole playbook.
that's it.
It's like anytime someone says something against their agenda or their policies, which are they don't have any policies.
That's
really.
the problem.
They
It's
don't
all
have-
social issues. It's all fucking social issues anymore.
They don't really have any policies, but the minute someone says something against what their social identity is, oh yeah, you're a bigot and a Nazi and a racist and all these things. And it's just, I think people are waking up to it because it's been going on for so long, and maybe the Elon Musk thing might have woken up a few people because they're like, I don't get it. He was
A hero 2 seconds ago.
yeah. He's making electric cars that he's trying to save the world.
He's giving Ukraine internet.
Yeah. His Starlink is helping fucking the
Yeah.
battle zone unfortunate fucking soldiers. So maybe it's waking up some people. We'll see. But going back to the WEF, I found it quite coincidental that the same time they were meeting was the same time they had this Texas shooting in a with the horrible facts of like those kids all dying. And to me, it's so fishy, that whole story. To me, it looks like I told a couple people this. If you look at it with, say, not so much in a critical eye, but just like, what would you think this is when there's a bunch of kids trapped in a building and the cops are holding people on the outside from going in? It looks like a fucking child sacrifice to me.
Yeah, or like they're securing the crime scene.
Yeah, it's like
so there's no witnesses or whatever.
And at what point do the police become accomplices to the murder because they fucking were holding parents back from rushing in to save their own children?
I have to admit that I purposely just kind of ignored that story.
Right.
I did hear a lot of criticisms and questions asked about it. I caught more criticism and questions about it than I saw somebody did an economic breakdown of his money,
Okay.
and there was, I guess he worked drive through at Wendy's. I guess the highest those people get paid is like $17 an hour, which isn't happening in Texas,
Okay.
and he wasn't there long enough to make that much. Um, and how many hours he worked versus the equipment that he had. Um, the armor light he had, I guess, was like $4,000 or something. Um, he spent a lot of money, apparently, all his money on guns, on this gun and this shooting. Who the hell knows? I did catch something. There's a Mexican guy I follow, and he was talking about just translation. They did an interview with the mother, and they changed her words around or translated it to be the most um, scandalous thing possible. She said, there must have been something in his mind, and they translated it as like, oh, he had this in his mind.
He had it in his. Oh yeah, yeah. That's fucked up.
As if she knew or something.
Who did the translation? Was it just a?
It was the news agency.
Okay, it wasn't like an official transcript. It was just these assholes fucking putting words in her mouth.
Putting words in her mouth. Yeah. And all media does that just about.
Yeah,
all big media.
It's all framing. It's all everybody frames stuff. Yeah, as far as the kid's money and all that, I know he shot his grandmother, and supposedly she's gonna make it. I'd like to find out more about that. That timeline's all fucked up. The cops were caught lying about a couple things.
Yeah, they were, right?
Yeah, so
he was shooting outside for 12 minutes.
He was there shooting at people at a funeral home across the street. He crashed his truck in a ditch. He was outside of the damn place. The cops were already there before he got inside.
Right.
And it's like,
and this is an urban area, right? I mean, there's a school there, funeral home. So,
yeah.
So there's it's a commercial zone.
Yeah. It's just a fucked up thing all the way around.
Big state, but
supposedly the police chief or whoever it was that was in charge just last week joined the city council, got sworn in. So he's not, I don't know if he's the police chief anymore, or if he just like left his job and became part of city council.
Like around here, you would have to go and I don't know if you could shoot at a fucking funeral home for 12 minutes anywhere around here without police showing up.
No, I mean, I see fucking 3 or 4 cops every time I go for a drive.
Yeah. You would have to go to Mount Marcy or something where there's nobody.
It's insane. But this goes just back to like how, people are so fucking dumb that, they're going to be outraged for a few days and then they're not going to give a shit anymore until the next one happens. And it's like, why, the October fucking gun shooting from like 5 years ago or whatever it was in Vegas. It's like, there's so many questions there still unanswered.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody cares. It's like that was the biggest mass shooting on American soil, and fucking the story you got delivered to you from the mainstream press is just bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with the Buffalo guy. Like that guy was in contact with a retired FBI agent,
and supposedly they gave him he had a list on him.
Oh yeah,
maybe it wasn't given to him, but somebody told him or someone conveyed this list because it doesn't look like a list you would just write up for yourself.
No.
And it was like put names of Waukesha victims on gun, this and all these fucking things that would be like someone told you to do.
Right. And that's the thing, like, we know that like Charles Manson drove people to kill people. We know that Jones, right? The Jonestown massacre, he convinced people to kill themselves. So we know that people can be brainwashed to murder, right? It's just not that far of a jump to say, well, maybe the government does that. Maybe the intelligence community does that. We know they've done it before. They've tried programs where they tried to take over people's minds to do things like that.
It's in the documents.
It's in the documents. And the crazy shit about this is that there's a shooting in Texas, so Canada bans handguns when there was no handgun involved. Like, what the fuck, Canada?
That's called some new world order.
Holy
fucking
shit!
moves.
I never thought I'd see that. I never thought I'd see sale of handguns being banned in Canada. Canada's got a lot of fucking guns.
I think, and from what I heard, that fucking sales went off the fucking
Off the
charts last
charts
week.
last week for
Yeah,
people were going into Minnesota to fucking get handguns legally.
and I think Trudeau's not gonna get past the next election
I hope not.
unless they fucking rig it.
Well,
Which is like, here's another thing. All these people want to complain about rigging elections and election fucking meddling, and they're right now trying to get Republicans kicked off of tickets
right.
because of connections to January 6th or
Right.
whatever, and it's like, what the you're actually election meddling, not because you think those people were fucking traitors to the country. You just know that they're more popular than you.
A lot of it comes down to people that I just agree with are fucking bad and evil, and therefore I can do anything. I could accuse them. I could be a hypocrite because they're evil or something. I don't fucking know. I think that's the rationalization. I mean, the
Yeah,
January.
that's really what it is. Like you were talking about before, it's like they're a threat to democracy, so I can be fucking as nasty as I want to make my position.
Right. And that shit, that drives me nuts when like they're talking about. I love that's when they were talking about Joe Manchin from fucking West Virginia because he voted some way they didn't like. Maxine Waters is out there saying this is a threat to democracy. Why? Because the guy voted a way you didn't like. It's a threat to democracy because he voted in the conscience of his people. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's so. And Pelosi was out there saying the same shit. Her and her drunk ass fucking husband.
Yeah, her and Pelosi's husband friggin' gotten a DUI this past week.
Dewey.
I mean, a lot of people are saying if you were married to Pelosi, you'd be a drunk too, and I agree. I agree with that.
She's up to go biddies though.
How
When you
old
see her-
is she?
When you see her younger,
She was a pretty good-looking young woman.
young woman, yeah.
What else? I was gonna jump to something else off of that. Oh yeah, Hillary.
I think about
Hillary's
Trudeau
lawyer.
though, getting reelected. They have a parliamentary system, and I don't follow hockey, but but I think that what happens is that
It's pretty low scoring.
they don't necessarily vote for the prime minister. I think that they vote for everything else, and whatever party comes into power
Is their prime minister?
Yeah,
It's like their quarterback gets to go up.
right.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
So, anyways, the Durham probe. Speaking of like left, right, fucking bullshit, fucking political fuckery.
Sussman got off, huh?
Sussman got off, but they say it may lead to other things. Even though they brought it up, it's like that. I saw fucking of all people that fat fuck Bill Barr on Fox News talking to someone, and the way he made it sound, it was like, well, yeah, Durham didn't get that conviction, but it's going to lead to more things. That having it on the record was just the point.
That's what they've been saying. Yeah, they were saying that before this even happened. How do you get something into the public domain?
Mm-hmm. Just having it on the record.
Having it on record in court and having people testify to this. John Durham's never lost a case before that.
Really?
Yeah.
The Sussman verdict.
The Sussman verdict's his first loss.
No, it's because supposedly the jury was completely fucked.
That's what they say. I think he must have suspected that, though, because he specifically went to Washington to have it tried.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have known something. I don't think he's a dumb guy, But well, I guess we'll see. He's got more down the pipeline.
He's got some more stuff in the fucking hopper.
He does.
We'll see what happens. I mean, to me, it's clear-cut case that Hillary organized the Russia hoax.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, I all those facts that he's been talking about, I've been hearing since like day 2 of the Trump administration. But you're called a fucking asshole,
right?
For saying it. I mean, I'm sure you could go find like old Dan Bongino videos from like the first month of the Trump presidency where he's laying all the same shit out that you're hearing now.
Yep.
And it's it's only taken 5-6 years for dumbass motherfuckers to hear it, and now that they hear it, they don't want to hear it. They don't.
They don't want to hear it.
They don't.
Can't.
It's like, yeah, it's they've lived off of that fucking mainstream fucking hate for so long, and to like admit, oh, I was duped. I was a dumbass. I was taken
They can't.
advantage
They
of by
can't.
corporations. It doesn't make sense to them.
They can't do it. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
A lot of friends. I know a lot of
exactly.
friends that are like that, and it
I've,
sucks.
I've when we were talking about New York City and how Giuliani cleaned up the city, and stop and search was a little
Little
questionable,
iffy, right?
but he cleaned up the city, and then someone was like, "I think it was Koch." Yeah, it was Koch. Well, why? Because I think it was a Koch. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, because you think it was.
I did go. I did go and look it up a little bit, and there were for sure things in rolling with Koch, and
Sure.
even before Koch that like were starting to turn around the city, but and it all did like crystallize under Giuliani, and but it's not like he stopped it from happening. He
No,
helped it
he
fucking
helped it
happen.
happen. I
So it
mean,
was like a long-term project that worked out, and now that the Democrats have taken over, it's like starting to go fucking backwards.
right. Oh, it's fucking totally fucked now. People are moving out of the city like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying before, like every fucking used car dealer we went to was telling us, how it's the seller's market. We're sorry, but there's all these people coming up from the city moving here who've never had a car before, and suddenly realize when they moved here, I need a car, and I'm 50 years old and never had a car before. I got to get my first car, and you know, so that's driving the car market up here. And the guy was like, we're buying cars from the city and bringing them up here. That's not good for you guys.
Yeah, they should have just stayed in the city. Go back.
Well, this way
Please go back.
they
No.
all move out. And it's gentrification. The big businesses can buy up the property that's left behind now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. New York City, most cities, like I think it pandemic exposed people to anybody with a brain, anyways, how bad it could get quickly.
Quickly.
Days. We're talking days.
Yeah, it took days.
1 week, shit's going. Fucking people are gonna start eating each other.
I went out 3 days after the day lockdown started at like 10 o'clock at night, and I walked through town, down the middle of the road, didn't see a soul. Saw some lights on,
Uh-huh.
but no cars, nobody walking around. It was fucking eerie.
Yeah. It and that's all straight from fucking your boy Bill Gates and fucking the Klaus Schwabs of the world. These people
Klaus
who
Schwab.
are they're testing the waters. They're testing people's psyche to see what's going to happen. Are these people going to fucking lay down and die and take it?
Here's something I saw from the International Monetary Fund meeting. Some guy was going on, by 2023, we wanted half the population decreased. It looks like we're on track. I'm like, what? You want to decrease half the population?
That's next year.
Why the fuck would you say that?
That's next year.
I don't even understand why he would say that, like in public. Like,
Well, there's also massive, like, it's being underreported, of course, because nobody wants to stick their head out and report about these, like, increases of deaths all across the globe. Like, there's a spike with the inflammation of the fucking heart and whatnot. And especially, I guess, like, women under 40 have been hit pretty hard. And
because they can reproduce.
Yeah, might have something to do with the what system is that? Reproduction system. Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into that story a lot. I know there's some people reporting it, but without a doubt, I think it's the J&J has been taken off the market for people under 18. There's plenty of testimonials of people online saying, doctors.
Oh yeah.
Fucking people that have been injured by the vax. Fucking and I think it was a good point. Somebody brought up that Biden's like the gun people are the only people immune, the only corporation immune to whatever fucking legal fucking repercussions, and it's like, no, that's not true. Yet the big pharma is immune.
Yeah, big pharma's immune. They're literally immune.
Literally, not fucking this make believe thing that he just made up.
Not some talking point. That dude lies fucking all the time. and not like I mistook his like. He claimed he was like brought into like the Navy last week or some shit.
He's a fucking mutt.
Like he was.
If you like Joe Biden, you're a mutt.
I said before Joe Biden even ran, because I got tipped off. I'm like, I'm not voting for Joe
what
Biden.
the fuck's that buzz?
I don't know.
Stop fucking with your mic. Maybe do something like this here. Oh boy. There it is.
There it is.
Take it easy now.
I said to my band, I'm like, Joe Biden's going to win the nomination. He hasn't announced yet. He's going to take a black woman for his vice president. And I'm not going to vote for him. Fucking just not going to do it. Because if this happens, it's a fucking scam. And then it happened. And
What'd your band say?
I don't think
nothing to see here.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think it registered. But, I mean, they do remember me saying that.
Here, let me get you another mic stand. I think,
it's okay. Man.
Or you can pull that one, closer to you.
I'm all right.
You know, like if you go here, this telescopes back and forth.
I'll just sit like
that. Okay.
We're good.
Well, yeah, Biden's lied about when he was running for president the first time, about being the fucking top in his class and having all these fucking...
He plagiarized when he ran for president in the fucking...
Oh,
80s.
yeah. He was taking, like, Bobby Kennedy's speech and fucking another, like, the labor union's fucking speech from fucking the UK, the labor union leader's speech.
Yeah, and repackaged it as his own.
He's a fucking plagiarizing piece of shit. And his son's a piece of shit.
Oh, his son's definitely a piece of shit.
They just found his son sent his dad a fucking Pornhub link on their phones this past week.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe people are speculating. They're like, well, maybe Joe didn't get the fucking, the thing. It's like, but why would he send a fucking Pornhub link to dad in his contacts?
Yeah, when your dad was alive, did you ever think about sending him porn?
Fuck no. It's like, have some fucking, couth. Have a little fucking morals. Like, at least be ashamed of yourself if you're a fucking scumbag. If you're doing something bad, don't be like, hey, Dad, check it out. Hey, Mom, look at this.
Well, there was this one self-made porn I saw where he's talking about...
Yeah, did he send him his own self-made porn?
But I saw one where he's telling this hooker, or whatever she was, call girl, whatever. My handler, I'm totally controlled by the Chinese intelligence, head of Chinese intelligence. I'm screwed. You're like,
just fucking. Not only is he screwed, all of us are screwed because it's all part of the plan. Whatever's happening right now is part of the plan.
They're trying to kill us off.
Yep.
They think there's too many people. That's why there's this whole overpopulation thing you hear about.
Yep. They think fucking the world's going to end because of climate change.
That's part of it. Now, here's something interesting I found out. We didn't start taking... I think we should take care of the environment, first of all. I want to say that. But they didn't start taking... collecting data about the weather and environment to the end. We were coming out of a mini ice age when they first started getting that information.
All I know is that every fucking generation going back to the 50s, they say the world's going to end because of climate change in the next 10 years. They've been scaring the piss out of every generation for fucking the last 80 years about fucking the world's going to end.
Well, do you know what regime was the first one to put in environmental laws and laws to protect animals, too? It was the Nazis. They were the first ones to start thinking of the environment as something to be legislated.
Right. Classic.
Now, the animal cruelty thing that they passed, there's some anti-Semitism speculation about that because of some Semitic Jewish, what is the word, slaughter rituals of the meat or whatever, let it bleed out or something. They do it.
Mm-hmm. The way they take care of their food.
Hey, and the Germans thought, or Nazis thought that was cruelty against animals. So there is some speculation that they might have done that to mess
with the Jewish religion.
Yeah, Jews in Germany. But they were the first ones to have those laws protecting the environment and protecting animals. Not just setting. We've set aside land that had been done, but they said no. You can get fined if you cut down this tree. You can get fined if you go into this forest and pick all
Hmm.
the berries out of it.
So
What?
Earth Day was invented by Hitler.
More or less. I mean, that's the thing. Like, all right, so Hitler was obviously crazy to start the war, but I don't think he was crazy his whole life. I think that's very dangerous to sit there. I've heard this conversation had before, and I would totally agree with it. That maybe he wasn't crazy, but maybe he was just evil and a genius, an evil genius, you could say.
um, the Hitler for Earth Day shirts would be really,
The Time magazine shirts,
really good.
Man of the Year.
Man of the Year.
We won Man of the Year.
Tim Pool said something funny on his show the other day, and I was like, "This would be great if we just went out and did it." But he didn't put it in this context. He just said like, "I want everybody to think when they're pumping gas, friggin', or I want you to imagine this every time you're pumping gas. All of a sudden, you feel hands come up over your shoulders, and Joe Biden comes around your neck and starts sniffing your."
Oh God.
And I was like, "That's great."
I mean,
But I was like, we should get a Joe Biden suit and just go around the gas stations going, "I did that, I did that."
well,
And
you
start
know,
yelling at people.
you nailed it because like his campaign promise was to phase out quote unquote fossil fuels.
Hmm.
Now they didn't do that with legislation. They just made it fucking.
They made it illegal basically to sell fossil
They
fuels.
made it expensive, too expensive. for
Yeah.
these people.
Hmm.
So the rich one.
Well, they can't. They made it kind of not illegal, but they got rid of the pipelines. They fucking closed all the leases
Oh,
down.
yeah.
They're not giving out any new leases for. So they took what Trump did, where he made us energy independent, and just fucking said, "Nope,
Inside
we
of a
don't.
month.
We don't want to be energy independent." Here's the other thing that all these fuckers are saying, "Oh, Joe Biden, he can't affect the price of gas," and I'm just like, okay, let's just start. Presidents don't have any power; they don't do anything, and I'm like, that's why at the beginning of this show I have the magic wand clip for all you dumb bastards
yeah,
out
dumbass.
there,
They have no control.
where Trump was saying he's going to bring jobs back and bring the fucking GDP above like 3.4, 3.3, whatever, where it was stagnating, 3.2 maybe it was at. And he's like, I'm going to bring it up higher than that. And Obama, your president, was telling you that America was never going to have that again.
No.
He's like, what's he going to do? Wave a magic wand?
all we had to do was make better deals.
And that's what Trump did. That fucking GDP went up above the magic wand fucking threshold that Obama said was never coming back. So what is it? The president can't do it, or he did do it?
Well, that's like when he's saying, "Oh, well, we stopped the Russian pipelines, and that really hurt Russia." So when you stop a pipeline, it hurts Russia, but when we stop one here, it doesn't hurt America. Like, which is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking bullshit.
Or their arguments were like, "Oh, well, it only got good because it was friggin' coming. It was Obama's friggin' it was Obama's economy."
They keep saying that,
But it's
bullshit.
like he said to you while Trump was running that it was never gonna happen again.
So if it was Obama's policy, why didn't he think it was?
Why
gonna
didn't he think it was gonna
Right,
happen?
Exactly. Well, he came out this week and said that that there was a live trial with billions of people on these vaccines. He finally admitted it that it was, a political trial. He said with billions of people. A trial with billions of people? Like that's not a fucking trial.
Fucking sounds like what do you mean trial? Yeah. As far as trial like experiment, or was it a trial like to see how fucking stupid you are, whether you're going to believe it or not? Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. But I know that people are having complications from it. Thank God I don't know anybody that's had any complications that I'm aware of.
I know a few people. I was standing in the line the other day at friggin' our local grocery store. And the guy was sitting there talking to the register clerk. Was like, yeah, my friend's mother just took it, and she died 2 days later.
Jesus.
And he was like, and not only that, 6 months before she had had a physical, medical, heart, everything, and they said she was healthy as a horse. And I was just listening to this, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I was listening to one guy. This was on BitChute. I don't know who the fuck he was, but he was a doctor, and he had that guy that was on Rogan, one of the inventors of the vaccine.
The mRNA. That's Doctor. The fuck's his name? I can't remember his name right now. But he's got the white beard, bushy beard.
He's got a bushy beard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about combinations of chemicals in these vaccines and other drugs that have an ill effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck? This is evil. Like, and he was saying, like, some of these things could kill you 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Well, that's what a lot of people are predicting, and it's kind of sad. I don't want to believe it. I
No,
don't want to
'cause
believe it. They're
they're gonna
saying
lose a
like
lot of
everybody
people.
that's taken a friggin' vaccine. I mean, this could be completely fake news, people. I don't. Yeah, this is only what I'm hearing. They're like everybody that's taken a vaccine will most likely be dead in 2 to 5 years.
That's what a lot of professionals are saying. Now, I don't know if there's any credence in that, or not, but it's definitely scary. And
that would scare the shit out of me.
I remember watching Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura.
And he had this doctor on.
The woman doctor?
The woman doctor who ran away to Mexico, and she was like...
She called it.
She said they got a culling planned on the human population. And here we are, not even fucking 5 years later.
No, and she had explained, I forget which episode that was, but she explained the whole fucking pandemic lockdown to precision.
To precision, yes.
She's like, and you can go look this up, Jesse Ventura.
If you can find it.
I'll see if I can find it right now. But yeah, this woman is explaining the whole thing about how they're going to make people scared. That's going to be a virus. They're going to bring in some type of vaccination passport.
It's scary nonetheless.
I mean, and the other thing is like friggin' Alex Jones was right. He's been doing this for friggin' 25 years.
That's
and reading all the white papers that come out of Davos and fucking Bilderberg, and it's like he's not making those papers up. It's just fucking part of what he finds on from people who are willing to leak the stuff or on the internet or in their own publications, which they have to make public. And he finds it and he reads it and it scares the fucking shit out of him.
Well, here's something I heard. Why is it that WikiLeaks has given you...
So this interview was in 2009 with this woman.
Why is it that WikiLeaks has given you more documents, leaked documents that are legitimate than the news?
And yeah, and why is it that like all these people that tell you the truth get fucking in trouble?
Right.
I mean, we talked about this last week or whatever, not last week, but a couple weeks ago. It's like all the people that tell you the truth, Chelsea Manning, fucking Edward Snowden, fucking, who's it, WikiLeaks again?
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange.
Why
are all these people persecuted?
Why is the Biden administration trying to get Julian Assange here? He's not even an American fucking citizen. He can't commit treason because he's not American.
I just don't get it. And when Julian was like giving the dirt on Bush, everybody was like, "Oh, I love Julian."
Oh yeah.
But when it changes, the shoe changes to the other foot, you're fucking just as tribal as any other like moron out there.
Well, here's the thing. Obama gave your tax dollars so that banks didn't lose money. He gave your tax dollars away so that banks don't lose money. He was worried about the banks losing, not you, the banks. And people, oh, it's too big to fail. That's fucking fascism. Literally, that is a symbiotic relationship between the government and a private enterprise. You got to be shitting me.
I mean,
that was my turnoff point.
The Fed, right?
That's when I became a Whig. Fuck the Fed. They fucking scumbags. We kill them.
That would be amazing if
Why?
somebody would take care of the Fed.
Why do we have
That
fucking
reminds me, I want to make a goddamn cartoon with like Janet Yellen, the fucking what
Janet?
Janet Yellen, that the old white haired lady that's like in charge of the financial fucking
Oh,
it was like, remember, she was like,
yeah, yeah.
inflation might rise just a little
A bit.
bit, but then it's gonna disappear and it's gonna be fine. And
And
then
said inflation was a good thing for a little while.
all the I mean, there's so many clips you can put up, like, oh, it's just transitory inflation. They had
No,
all these hot fucking talking points for all you morons out there that were like, oh, it's just yeah, it's gonna be transitory. That sounds good. And then you had everybody else fucking like on um independent media just yelling to the top of their lungs, or like, you guys understand that this is fucking bad.
oh yeah, it's gonna take decades to get out of unless there's something drastic happens.
Yeah, that's probably why we're gonna have third world war.
Um, 80% of the money that they've ever printed since the Federal Reserve's ever been
getting
around,
really upset.
80% of it has been in the last 22 months. That's a dramatic increase in the amount of currency going around, and you know
It's called it devalues the
they
currency.
balance the currency, and we're starting to see it in
Mhm.
consumer goods, and that's when shit gets bad. You know,
I mean, and plus with gas, the double whammy with the
oh,
gas,
it's just gonna keep going.
and also food. It You can't write. Everybody's like, it's a perfect storm. And it's like, yeah, but you understand, you just can't like almost make a better uh
It's a
fucking perfect storm.
it's a perfect storm that was fucking completely predictable, and I'm a moron.
Completely
I'm a
predictable.
fucking moron,
See
and I
it
can
coming.
predict it.
See it coming from fucking years away, especially with the lockdowns, and nobody wants to listen to you because you're the crazy
You're the
uncle.
crazy uncle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yet here we are.
Crazy uncle's right
Crazy,
again.
right again. It's like it's shit's so fucking predictable. It's ridiculous. I've
Well, the other thing is too is like, you people have to realize that the crazy uncles actually have time to think. They're not being fucking woken up every
Right.
morning to fucking chase around the kids, and they're not friggin' running off to the ball games after fucking
yeah,
school,
they got
and
time.
they're fucking they have time to sit and look and see what's going on. Where there's nothing wrong with having a family and all that. That's part of the building blocks of society, and we need more of that. And it it just means that you acting like you have time to do as much research as someone that doesn't have a family is it's a little bit fucking, you got to think about that as a
Right.
fucking factor.
Right. Um, you know, we've seen this before in our society. Back when we were tribes, there was the one guy that would stay up all night,
Mm-hmm.
and he was considered weird and fucking all that. But then the other tribe came and attacked him in the middle of the night, and he warned them and saved the tribe, so he wasn't weird anymore. I mean, that's been a societal role forever. Kind of like the canary.
Canary in the coal mines.
Coal
Yeah.
mine,
That's
yeah.
I've been hearing that term resurface a lot lately, tell you the truth, and it's mainly because of the Alex Jones is right meme. It's there's too many people coming around to AJ because of there's clips that clearly see him predicting all
Oh
this,
yeah,
and they've been sold this bullshit lie because he, that the what he's being sued for with the kids out in the fucking
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, that he is this complete fucking madman that's like chasing down parents and ruining their lives, and it's just not true.
I drove past there. It's right off the highway in Connecticut. You could see it from the highway. I had to go there like the week after, and there was so much fucking media there, and there were so many fucking flags down the highway. It was a big deal. People made money off that, obviously, because there was tents set up and shit.
Sure, yeah.
Like, holy fuck, really? And
News makes money off everything.
and Connecticut's got like 4 lanes most of the way, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not that many people in Connecticut, really. But traffic got slowed down past that because people were just stopping looking. I'm like, what the fuck is this going on up here? I had no idea what was going on, And then I was like, oh, Newtown, fucking, that's where the shooting was. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Like we're gonna find out how big the movement is. A lot of people feel like the pendulum's swinging back the other way as far as they're sick and tired. The more people have been exposed to wokeness across the middle of the country, all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, what's going on?
Right.
And they're also understanding, like they're seeing like, wait, I was told that this person's bad, but they're not bad. Like you got so many examples from Elon to Alex to fucking um, Russell Brand to,
Right.
all these people that once you're like, wait, what'd they do?
Ricky
What
Gervais
what the fuck did
now.
they do? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
All and you're seeing like the power of big tech dwindle a little bit with people more and more standing up and being like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you, because they got an agenda and it doesn't include you. They're in the club and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's like when I hear people talk about like, oh, communism in America. I'm like, well, you understand how powerful this country is, and if we went communist, other countries are going to communist, and they're not as rich as you, so you're going to have, even though you're dirt poor here, you're going to have to share the stuff you have with people who actually have dirt floors. Like,
I'm almost like, I don't know if there is. I mean, didn't Russia threaten nukes this past week? I saw some
sure,
articles on it because we're sending over some fucking heavy missiles or something like
right,
that into Ukraine.
right.
Like
It's
it,
weapons that can reach inside of Russia.
yeah. With our 40 billion tax dollars,
Now here's
30
something.
billion tax
I'm
dollars.
going to pat myself on the back because they sent that 40 billion to Ukraine, and I said we could solve all of American Samoa's problems with 40 billion,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Right. The very next week, China makes a deal with Samoa, a military deal.
Wow.
I'm like, fucking should have sent it to American Samoa. Dumbasses.
That's a well-deserved pat on the back for Saintly Barnes.
Yeah, I didn't know China was going to come involved, but they did. And now China has a deal with Samoa, not American Samoa.
So, yeah, World War III is probably going to happen because this is all the earmarks of fucking. We got the 80-year cycle. We're at the
Right, right.
fucking end of the. We're having economic collapse worldwide. It's just another generational fucking thing that's going to probably happen.
Well, we got the BRICS coming in, and they're competing with the IMF now, and more nations are going to look like they're going to join on. So that would be Brazil, Russia, India, and China, South Africa, back in a new currency that dominates the world. I don't see us letting that happen without a fight. So, and that's it. Like this, all illustrated to me the actual power in the last few years that the big banks have, that the the Federal Reserve has, that these big centralized private fucking banks have over our society. They just make money out of nowhere.
They're just siphoning the money too. It's like give them people just barely enough to keep fucking the machine running, so we can do what we want
Right.
with their money.
And a lot of that's, like people are very critical of the John Birch Society, and I can understand why they were critical of the John Birch Society, but they predicted all this shit. I've even seen like conversations with lectures with Manly P. Hall, who was a prominent Freemason. He talked about it in the 50s, what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The documents are there
I mean,
for like centuries.
right? They've been talking about you know European Union, the European Commonwealth since the 50s. Then it happens in the 90s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly when the Union came in. I think it was the 90s, as far as I can remember. One centralized currency, you combine in six economies into one, and now it's the thing. So these people have long term plans that are longer than your lifetime. So it makes it difficult to see because you don't get to see the direct results, and maybe in your
And the people, you're just being, yeah, generationally fucking like ignored or brainwashed
Oh, it's
There's so many
brainwashing.
different things you can call it, but it's like what we were talking about with the New York State Thruway with tax. The tolls were supposed to fucking be eliminated somewhere in the 90s. I think it was 95 or 2000. I don't know. But the tolls were supposed to be taken away, and the tolls were supposed to pay for the road,
Right.
and then it was going to be free. And when the time comes, everybody that helped build it is more or less fucking old and dying or dead, and or they just don't give a fuck no more. All the people that used it to pay all the money to make it free, um, they even forgot that it was supposed to be
It was
free.
supposed to be free. It was supposed to pay for education at some
Yeah,
point. Never did.
and so they just were like, oh well, fuck it, let's just keep fucking taxing them. These dummies don't care.
Well, now it's at the point where they don't even have tellers, so I can't even pay the government without going through a fucking private bank.
Right.
I can't pay Albany unless I go through a private bank. I mean, I guess if I lived next to the DMV, I could do it because then I could walk to the DMV, pay them in cash, and I wouldn't have to go to some other private enterprise to get my money to pay my bills to this.
Well,
Fucking-
it's also just a great way to track people electronically.
Oh yeah, like when we went to Jersey, I didn't see any of the throw. Remember all the throw-in change things in
Mhm.
Jersey on the Parkway? I didn't see any of that.
I mean, I agree that it's going to make it will solve some issues in the world. But it's like, what? Just make it toll free then. Everything toll free, because it's
Right.
like, I'm sure there's so many gallons wasted sitting in lines for fucking getting through the toll booth, and they're going to complain that it's it's freaking bad for the environment, and it's like, well, then just make the fucking road free so everybody can just drive
Right,
fucking
because
right
right
down the
now
road.
I got to pay a bank to fucking pay you promptly.
Yeah, exactly.
So the bank makes money and the teller's out of a job.
And fucking they can tell where your car was when it was
Yeah,
on the
how
road
fast
and
it was
how long
going.
it was going. Exactly.
Where it got on, where it got off. Yep. Which is good for crime, if you want to crack down a Big Brother state, because we're living in a fucking police state.
We are in a police state big time,
and
and
it
it's
keeps happening.
just going to get worse.
And I see people who
And we need-
allegedly want freedom pushing for this police state.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you. I'll put landmines in the front yard.
Well,
Fuck you.
the main thing is that social credit score. That's the thing they're trying to pull off, and people don't realize it with this vaccine
That's part of
passport,
it.
and fucking like a phone that's connected to your fucking
Yep.
person, your bank, everything. So once, I mean, they're doing it with so many people now. I think Lawrence Southern, of course, all people that are supposedly right wing extremists. Alex Jones, I think who was the other one? I think Count Dankula. They got like,
He's a fucking comedian.
yeah, but they just said no. You can't use our bank anymore. You can't use PayPal. You can't use this.
They just turned him off.
Just all these people. There's a lot more, I'm sure, if you went to go and look, that have been. It happened in Canada with the truck drivers. Their assets were seized from the banks, and it's like, you don't understand that this could go very bad.
The thing about Alex Jones being right wing, I can't think of.
One.
So, yeah. Like, he was against Bush. He was totally, like, inside job 9/11 guy, right?
Yeah.
He fucking broke into the, what was that?
Bohemian.
Bohemian Grove, right?
He's planning on going back, I guess.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
I can't wait. He's gonna probably get a big fat suit or something.
Yeah, something. I don't know. But he was the inside job guy. He was hypercritical of the Bush administration.
No, I've never seen him as a partisan, like left or right. He's
He
libertarian.
liked Trump for a little bit, but then he didn't like Trump.
He's still on. He was on friggin' Friday Night Tights last night, which was an amazing show. It's Nerdrotic and a bunch of other.
I did hear about it.
Salty Cracker was on.
Yeah.
It was fucking an amazing show, and but he was talking about getting in there, going back, and the fuck was I gonna say? What were you talking about? The main thing.
I've seen Alex Jones criticize.
Oh yeah. He was
right wing presidents and Democratic.
He was just talking about like how anybody that speaks truth to power is getting just labeled it as far right wing
Far right.
conspiracies.
Right.
Which is what we were talking about before, being called a bigot, being called a misogynist, all this stuff. It's just a cultural way for people who it's like I see it as like a high school type of mentality where it's like you want to be in the popular crowd. So you know you're going to get kicked out if you say anything against what the
Right.
popular crowd
I
thinks.
mean, that's like that guy up in fucking Canada. I don't know if you caught Trudeau's speech this week, but
No.
he was talking about illegal protests, and one of the reporters like, protesting is all right in Canada. You're allowed to protest. That's lawful. Yeah. What's an illegal protest then? What are you talking about?
For real. Yep.
I mean, they don't have the same rights that we have, but they're very similar, obviously. Um, and here's another thing: like, we have the Bill of Rights, which are given to you by God. I, I don't see God coming down to change those anytime soon. Like,
Yeah.
I, I, I don't think some people grasp that concept that these.
And yeah, it's what makes you what America has done to civilization uh has never been done before.
Never. No. Not even the Romans didn't do it.
Nope, nope.
The Greeks didn't do it. No.
There's never been such a open-minded civilization as far as we're trying our best not to have a fucking caste system.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to keep you from being tyrannically controlled by
Yes.
giving you weapons and saying it's an inalienable right that you can protect yourself from your own government.
That's another thing. They were talking about the AR-15 a lot this week, and I saw a lot of politicians fucking calling it military weaponry. What fucking military is handing out AR-15s? The fucking IRA? Like,
Yeah.
they're a terrorist organization. They're not even real. What are you talking about? Military grade weapons. All right, what military is issuing AR-15s? Can you show me? No?
Well, the other thing too is all these dummies think like, why do you need that for hunting? It's like that's not why the Second Amendment's there. It's not for fucking food. It's not for food and hunting. It's for fucking taking care of people who are going to try and take your rights away
against a tyrannical government.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it says. And I think this government's pretty fucking tyrannical.
Yeah, and I think Klaus Schwab is, and fucking.
You got Hochul fucking telling me that she signed an executive order that she can decide who's
sick.
who's a threat to public health, and she can contain them.
She's trying to get. She's trying to ban. Is it Hochul or is it the governor of New York City trying to ban body armor? I don't get that.
That doesn't make any sense. You want more people to get shot?
Did you see that? They're trying to ban
No,
body armor.
I didn't see that.
Or the sale of it, outlaw the sale of it. I'm like, what the fuck?
How are they even going to do that?
I don't know what people are thinking.
How does that make people safer? You're gonna. The one thing that could save your life if there is a shooting, you're gonna take away from people.
New York State Bill A352, a ban on body armor.
Why?
Is akin to a ban on seatbelts or airbags.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, why?
Nobody voted for her, by the way. Just wanted to throw that in there.
You got as many votes as she did.
I did.
Yep.
For governor. Now we got fucking what's her face's stepson.
What piece of shit are you talking about now?
That's the chick that owns the fucking liquor store in town here. Her stepson.
I don't know who that is.
Delgado.
Fucking Delgado.
Delgado's her
What's Delgado's stepson doing?
Well, Delgado's, I mean, her mother-in-law. She owns Delgado's mother-in-law owns the liquor store here.
Okay.
All right. Her daughter's Allison, chick from Woodstock, who didn't know she was black somehow until she went to college, even though everybody around her knew she was black.
This fucking sounds like a strange story already.
It was on Netflix. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing out here?
Netflix?
Yeah. But she didn't know she was black until she went to college, apparently. She was raised Jewish, and so she just thought she was dark-skinned Israeli or something. I don't know. Even though her parents are clearly Caucasian of some sort.
Was she adopted?
No, her mother had an affair.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how that came out.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, how did you not know you were black? I knew her. Yeah.
And you never like questioned the fact. You just figured she knows she's black.
Well, why wouldn't I think she knew she was black? That just doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it never came up. Obviously, it's
Maybe
obviously
she's
a
just
topic.
lying for the Netflix special.
Could be. It wasn't like a topic of conversation. Like, hey, do you know you're black? I never.
Yeah, but I thought you were a racist.
What?
Just because we're all racist.
Oh, well, no.
You're white.
This was the 90s
You're white.
when I knew her.
Oh, that's right. Racism wasn't a thing back in the 90s. We were all kind of just chilling with each other.
So it wasn't like a topic of conversation, but I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, so maybe people didn't tell you were black because we thought it was obvious, but come on.
Right.
That's like me saying I didn't know I was white.
Well, she didn't know that her dad wasn't her dad, though.
Right.
So there's no reason to believe otherwise.
Right. So.
And then she found out that her mom had an affair.
Well, she went away to college and she started to get approached by all these black interest groups on campus. And she told her mom, she's like, I don't know why I keep getting approached by black interest groups, blah, blah, blah. And then she had a girlfriend said, honey, you're black. I don't know what you're talking about. You're black. So she finally confronted her mom. Her mom had to admit that she had a affair with this guy who used to play basketball out in front of their house in New York City or whatever.
And the dad was just like, whatever, I'm going to raise her as my own.
He raised her as her own. But that guy.
What a piece of shit. Sounds like a fucking real piece of shit to me. Guys are they suck.
But the guy that was her father was still a family friend.
Oh, well, you see, this is a great story. Here we go. Keep on going.
I mean, he was a family friend.
You're taking all the money away from Netflix.
She knew them, and she didn't find out till she was in her 20s that was her father.
That sucks. That is a sucky story. But, I mean, to the guy that raised her as her own daughter, I mean, God bless you.
Yeah. Now, Delgado, who's just a piece of shit, I've met him a couple times. I barely remember him, really, honestly. I didn't even recognize him until I saw some of his rap videos. I'm like, oh, I fucking know that dude.
I don't know anybody, so.
But Delgado's now.
I'm jealous.
Running for lieutenant governor. I don't even know that was a thing, but he must be on Hochul's ticket, I guess. She must have chose him. I don't know why.
Yeah, we got to fucking figure out something. We got to go. We'll take that brand new car of yours to Albany and start protesting on the steps.
Yeah, videotape. That'd be great. Well, the
Joe Biden costume out there. I did that. I did that.
I did that.
I did that. Come on, man.
That's like I mean, who the heck were those guys with all the fucking? They were wearing body armor. They had assault rifles with them, and they were dressed in Hawaiian shirts, and they went out in front of the governor's mansion and protested. Who the hell were they?
I don't know.
They were some fringe fucking libertarian group.
Fucking Hawaiian shirts and guns.
Yeah, I can't remember what their name was.
Pineapples.
They weren't Proud Boys. They weren't Antifa. They were something else. It was like Boogie.
Oh, you're talking about the Boogaloo Boys.
Boogaloo Boys. They fucking cracked me up. Holy shit, I was dying.
Fucking Boogaloo. We just got to make up the most fantastic name.
So here's these guys in body armor and Hawaiian shirts with rifles just playing fucking jokes on each other and pranks out in front of the governor's mansion. It was just like, what the hell is going on? How are these people a threat? The people laughing and making jokes are a threat?
You should watch that that last night's stream with the Friday Night Tights. That's some of the stuff they were talking about. They're like, what's happened is like the right takes themselves too serious sometimes. So you're called like an asshole, you're insensitive, whatever. But it's like, when you're just having fun and just having jokes, it doesn't mean you're freaking being insensitive. You're just having fun.
You're just having fun.
Yeah. And the left can't meme for shit, which is their problem.
Right.
It's like everything they do is like it's just not funny. You
No,
know,
most of the time it's not.
so
That's because they're angry about a lot of social issues.
yeah, the anger is real is
It's off
real.
the fucking charts. I
I did
mean,
see a couple reports. I didn't get into it, but I did see that supposedly young Democratic men are in some polling rejecting the young woke women fucking feminism stuff.
it makes sense.
I think I think they're waking up finally too, where it's like they're all being allies and white knights and cucks, and it didn't get them anywhere.
Right. Well, I mean, you're going to have a hard time finding any man, straight man, who's going to say that trans man is just as much of a man as him. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Um, you watched that special, What Is a Woman? So I saw some stuff on there, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking amazing to see some people talking out against that whole issue where it's like, uh, you're I got transitioned to be a man, but I can never be a man. They're just admitting it.
Right.
They're like, it can't happen. It's just like I'm not strong enough or
Tall enough.
tall enough.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't have the experience. I would.
And did you watch the new Ricky Gervais comedy special?
I did.
It's fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. I just watched it.
Her pronouns, you bigot. Look at her pronouns.
It's like, I have no problem with women transitioning and becoming men, or men transitioning and becoming women. Those classic women, those friggin', with the womb. He's like, but maybe we could meet halfway, and if you want to be a woman, just cut the dick off. Yeah. That wasn't exactly what he's saying, but it was some stuff. He's just being rude and having fun and making jokes.
What makes you say she's not a woman? The penis. Yeah, he was talking about these new women.
Yeah, he's
the ones with penises.
Yeah, new women, the ones with the cock.
He killed it, man. He did.
And, I am 100% sure he doesn't have an issue with trans rights.
No.
He is fucking having a go at him, because I love that part where you put it in. He's like, I believe in equal rights, and that's why I'm including him.
Right. That's why I'm including him.
That's why they're going to get fucking joked about.
And he's like, if you got a problem with it, whatever, ask Eddie Izzard.
It's like, yeah, there are some funny women. Eddie Izzard.
Yes. She's not a woman.
It's hilarious.
But that was like the Jeopardy thing. Longest woman to win streak. It's a dude. It's a fucking dude dressed up as a woman. It's like fucking ridiculous.
Oh, that gets me into a little something we can talk about here really quickly. I'm going to do hopefully a full-fledged report on this, and maybe film a little segment. I was talking to my brother, and we were talking about the trans women in women's sports and how it's pretty goddamn unfair to real women to have a trans woman competing against them. And I completely agree. There is a skater girl we talked about a couple weeks ago that came out and was complaining that she lost, her stuff, her events, to a transgender male skater, or transgender female. And Ty was, since there was skating involved, and it kind of got onto his radar. And I know he's seen other stuff like the woman swimmer,
right,
Leah Thompson or
Sure.
whatever, and all this other stuff. But that kind of pissed him off enough he goes, I want you to go and look up just go look up women's world records in track and field. I want the best of the best, grown ass women. And I was like, okay. And he's like, now I want you, and then I want you to go look up high school boys world records.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, I guarantee you, all the high school boys world records are better than the women's world records. And I was like, I don't know, Ty, that's a little hard to bite and chew. And here I got him right up here. Woohoo! Okay, the 100-meter dash, Florence Griffith Joyner, 10.49 seconds.
All right. So for reference, Ed Hasbrook ran like a 10.5 in high school. I don't think he ran track in college at all.
Right. But this is that's freaking amazing.
Flojo.
Flojo.
Right.
He was like a tenth of a second off of Flojo's
Yeah.
world record. Yeah.
And if he was a professional like she was, he would have beat her.
Yeah. So here's 10.09 Anthony Schwartz in New Mexico. That's the world record for high schools. That's friggin' almost a half a second faster than Flojo.
Right. And that's a boy.
That's a kid.
Yes.
A high school kid.
Yes.
Let's go to the here's the mile for women's. The 1 mile is 4 minutes, 12 seconds, 33 tenths of a second.
That'd be tough for me.
4:12. Fuck yeah, yeah. You couldn't get there not without like a year,
Yeah.
maybe years of training.
Yeah.
So 4:12:33. The high school men's mile. 3 minutes,
3 minutes something.
58 seconds.
Yeah. 14 seconds
It's a
faster.
that's a gap, a huge fucking gap.
gap.
So what we have to do is put a team together of all these boys.
Call them girls.
Call them girls and get all the records.
All the records. Well, you know, the thing about trans
I mean,
women,
and here's, there's all these other fucking ones. I could keep going, even with the discus, where you think a woman would be stronger and fucking, like a grown woman would be stronger. It's no.
well, I wouldn't think that, but yeah.
It's high school. They're not fully developed yet. You're like,
Well, okay,
that's why I
true.
had some questions. I was
Okay.
like, okay, maybe they're not all the way men yet, but it's just fucking, they got destroyed. And just, I think everyone, I didn't go through the whole list, but everyone I looked at, the record was beaten by a high school boy, a woman's world record.
The closest you're gonna find is in shooting sports. You know,
Well, yeah.
bowling, pool,
I mean, that's all.
skeet shooting.
Yeah. I mean, even with like driving and stuff, it's like women can have fucking great reflexes and
Sure.
maybe even faster than men. So I understand that hand-eye coordination.
Right.
It's a completely different game.
Completely different. Basketball, they're not going to be the same. You know, baseball, they're not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Football, obviously. I mean, anything physical, they have a hard
I mean, how
time shooting.
stupid is the men's soccer team for being like, yeah, we're going to share the same wages with the women's soccer.
Did they do that?
I guess they did that last week or something like that. And it's
Fucking
just
dumb.
like you have a completely different market. Your market's much bigger.
Yes.
It's just insane.
It's insane.
But women, they want equal rights and they feel like they're besmirched. And,
Well-
in many ways they are.
But putting transgender women into fucking female sports is just dangerous.
But that's not about women at all. That's actually men's rights.
That's men's rights, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's dangerous, like
Especially if it was a contact fighting sport.
exactly, any kind of contact sport, that's fucking dangerous. That's why they were divided in the first place. It's
Yeah, it wasn't because of the clothing.
right. I'm just big enough where I'm not considered fucking a small guy. I had to compete against the bigger guys. I got my ass kicked plenty of times, but whatever, And I'm a dude. Field hockey in 9th, 10th grade was fucking tough.
You getting your ass whooped out there in the field.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
can run the fuck over.
and I was on a good team. I was on Jacobson's team. We had some. Eric was a really good shooter. He led every time I played in shooting. I was always on his team, and we had this fucking cheap move where I would just pass to him and he would score. But I'd get my ass kicked fucking for that,
Well, yeah, the just fucking when you come up against there's fucking so many big men out there.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
Ty said he met Brock Lesnar and he was just like a fucking like 8. I don't know what his height is, but it's like 6'7", just fucking gorilla.
Right.
Fucking. He said his hands were bigger than his head,
Right.
and it's just like those. I mean, what woman's gonna compete against that?
Nobody. No women is going to compete against that.
And he's
I-
not even a big dude compared
Right.
to big dudes like
Right.
fucking Andre the Giant or Will fucking Chamberlain.
Right. Oh my God, Will Chamberlain. That dude was big.
Did you see that picture with Andre, Will, and Arnold Schwarzenegger ever?
No.
Look it up right now. I want you to look at that picture. If you're at home, feel free to look it up. Just look at the picture of Andre, Will, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Shit. I have have seen this. So Schwarzenegger looks like a kid.
Arnold's 6'2".
God damn, how big was Andre the Giant?
Fucking.
Anybody
Anybody want a peanut?
Yes. Well, everybody want a peanut.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, you better be a lady from outer space if you think you're gonna fucking
What the fuck?
go against Wilt or fucking Andre there.
Wilt's gonna start fucking identifying as a woman and fucking.
Oh, there we go. Now we got some competition.
Well, I mean, that's like the Serena sisters. They
The
play
Serena sisters.
I mean, the Williams systems. Serena Williams sisters.
Well, it's Serena and.
Oh, you have a Serena sister.
What's the other sister? Serena and. See, this is bad. I mean, we
I
should
don't
know her
follow them.
name.
But Serena's the more
She's
successful one, right?
Yeah.
The Williams sisters. So I saw last month or maybe 2 months ago, they did a charity match, a doubles match in Australia. And the guys that they played with were ranked in the hundreds in the men's. And they're ranked 1 and 2, 1 and 3 or something.
Yeah, and they destroyed them.
They got smoked.
Venus.
Venus.
Could I forget her
They
name?
said they're never going to play
Venus
against men
was a
again.
name.
Never going to play against men again. And
They said they'll never play against men again after they got smoked?
they said that years ago when they got smoked, but this was after that actually. But yeah, they got smoked. It was like they weren't even there. And this guy's ranked like 127th in the men's.
Yeah.
And she's getting aced every time.
Well, this is what I want to know. I want to know if you put up the high school champ in tennis against them if they fucking smoke them. That's what I want to know.
That's a tough one. I don't know. You'd have to actually play.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell by stats, really.
Because if that happened, you'd have to friggin' finally maybe put a muzzle on some of these women that are like, women are just as every friggin' bit capable as men. How dare you?
Well, they don't know Wilt Chamberlain, apparently.
I'm not, and you want
There's
to pull your
bigger-
hair out. You want to pull your hair out.
Right.
You're like, I mean, you ain't got no hair, but
Right.
you already pulled it all out.
Already pulled it out. That's weird. Is like I've been keeping my glasses up here, and because of that, I've got like this square mark here
From the sun?
from my glasses rubbing up and down.
Oh, okay. But you want to pull fucking whatever, your eyeballs out, because you're like, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm talking about science.
Reality.
I'm talking about the human genome.
All right. And there's plenty of girls out there that are twice my size,
And kick my ass.
kick my ass, but they're a rarity, and they're just as rare as the fucking 7'5" fucking male.
Exactly. So, I mean, and the other argument, what was somebody making there? Somebody was like, yeah, that's the argument, the counter argument. There's a woman that'll kick the shit out of you. It's like, I agree with that. I agree. But you see here, if we take the baddest ass dudes, baddest ass females, the badass dudes are going to be on top of everybody.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Because, sure, the badass female is going to be able to kick the shit out of the lower male.
Sure.
But when you have the lower male and the lower female compete, the lower male is going to beat
absolutely.
the lower female.
In physical competition most
Yes.
of the time. 9 times out of 10.
We have these fucking stages and fucking, gender.
Equal height, equal weight, man wins most
Yeah.
of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Doesn't-
just when you put everything up statistically, like matched up, fair for fair, the stronger gender will conquer. Well, in an athletic contest.
Athletic
will win.
contest, right?
They're not going to win in having a baby contest because they can't.
You
And
know,
that's
I had this psychology teacher, Mr. Cesarato, and this is in the 90s.
and
So he
I was
had
gonna
this.
continue on with
little
how much better
analogy.
women are than men in certain areas, but
He had
they should know that.
He had an analogy about the dominant sexes, right? And throughout most of the animal kingdom, the woman is the dominant sex, and he thought so as well in humans. But he had this weird take on it that I never heard before, and he said, men are usually taller, which makes it easier for them to step over bushes and brush,
Yeah,
and
the underbrush.
the underbrush and twigs on the ground. while they're walking through the woods, they can travel easier through the terrain because they're taller and they have a larger uh, gap in their walk
The
and
stride.
stride, and they can step tall higher, right? And yada yada yada. And then he's like, now one of the best things our civilization has ever come up with is paths, and that came up with paths before civilization began. And he said, he's like, we don't know this, but whose idea was it to build a path? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, it was probably a woman. We don't know that. And why do we think it was probably a woman? Because she had a harder time transferring through the forest because wasn't as tall. She didn't have
Right.
as long as a stride.
It's not a bad theory at all, and that makes them smarter.
Right. That makes them a little bit smarter in that area. Because men had less of a need for paths through the
Right.
woods.
The mother of necessity.
Right.
Or mother of invention.
Right. The woman who was taking care of the child, who had to care for the
So
child.
women are the first inventors.
Probably.
It's a good possibility.
Probably because we're more adapted to survive in the wild than they are. That doesn't mean that they're lesser. That means that they're more coveted by the entire race or the entire species. That's the reason why it's women and children first. There's a reason why we protect women and children over ourselves.
That reminds me of this old fucking thing. I should have done it way back when. This was when Verona, these are my nieces. They were little girls. They were little kids. And I wanted to make like a post-apocalyptic fucking war little skit. And it was the last line of defense. What the fuck would it have been? Like little girls. And they got guns and shit. And it's like they're the last ones fighting. Because all the grown-ups are dead. All the fucking males are dead.
Right.
So now the last people fighting are just fucking little girls with guns.
I mean, that's like the invasion of Germany during World War II. They were fighting kids at the end.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, a lot of GIs didn't feel good about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're shooting some fucking 14-year-old kid.
But that's how fanatical
That's how war is, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were that kid, you didn't know any better. That's all you ever knew. These people are coming to kill people.
Well, that's what we're talking about, indoctrination, and it's happening now in America, where I just saw a video where it was probably this past week or maybe even yesterday, where they were having children in a cross-dressing, whatever you want to call it, fucking hour, the trans hour or whatever, but it was at a bar, and I think it was in Texas somewhere, and it was supposedly 21 and over, supposedly. I forget what it was, but they got just trans men dressed up in drag coming out. It was a drag show. Maybe it wasn't trans. I don't know. I get confused nowadays. So it was a drag show, and they're going out and just giving, or they're getting tips from little kids that are like 5 years old and, fucking 4 years. Who the fuck knows? 10 years old. There you go again, Barnes.
I didn't even do anything.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Is it that? It could be the headphone thing. Let me do this. Oh, that did something. Weird. Set it down. It'll be fine. I don't know what we'll figure that out someday. Maybe I'll change your cord out.
It's a wasp flying around here.
Ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
There's a ghost wasp in the machine. Ghost pepper. But anyways, yeah, it's indoctrination. They're like bringing the kids, and somebody brought up, it's like the parents are the ones. The kids don't fucking want to go. The parents are the ones bringing their kids because they want to have like some type of fucking clout. Like
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was 9, there could have been a nude show of women taking off their clothes. I would have had little interest in it. I might have been like, ooh,
yeah,
let's go play war. That was
exactly.
fun. It wouldn't be something that really.
This is these brainwashed parents bringing their kids to fucking this thing the kids could probably care less about, then telling them, here, give them money, and it's like, fucking, and it's indoctrination, like I said.
Indoctrination.
So
there's an agenda.
There's a goddamn agenda, and you got these dumbass parents who are fucking.
And the gay part of it is about depopulation because they don't reproduce.
Yeah. It all works in their favor. That's for sure. Also, it destabilizes and demoralizes a national fucking identity.
Right. I saw this great ad. It was fucking all these corporations how they changed their logos for June,
Jesus.
and they did this in the United States, Canada,
Oh yeah,
UK,
yeah, yeah.
France.
They're still doing it. Yeah, this year again.
But their advertisements in the United Arab Emirates are totally the same.
Yeah, they don't change none of the stuff in the countries. They don't, China, fucking
No.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see none of those fucking rainbow flags this month in those countries. South America.
Right. And they're still doing business in those countries. So how much do they really care? They don't.
No,
All that's happened is that there's a demographic of people, the gay people, have some money.
they also have Twitter.
They have money, so now the corporations want your money. That's all that's going
They
on.
also have Twitter, which is trying to fucking, which is a minority of voices, fucking controlling a narrative when most of the country doesn't give a fuck. Like I think Bill Maher said a few weeks ago. He's like, everything isn't about you.
Well, yeah, that's a hard thing to get across.
They don't get it. They don't get it. They believe everything's about them, and they get Facebook, the mind virus, fucking portals. They all contribute to that.
There was somebody on Facebook this week that they were talking about, guns control and all this shit. And then I was like, I'm curious. So I went back, and I only had to go back like a week, and they were defending 40 billion to Ukraine.
Jesus Christ.
I'm
Yeah.
like, are you not putting this together? Like,
Guns are okay for them, but
For them, not for
we
you.
can buy them guns. But no, my neighbor, no. We
no.
don't want to have you to have guns. This is what I wanted. I told Jack this last night. This is the analogy I'm going to start using on fucking dumb people. I'm be like, you are the Indian, the Native American now, okay?
Ow.
You are you're being fucking invaded
Yeah.
by another force from an outside country, and they're telling you you can't have weapons. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna fight, get weapons.
Yeah, are you gonna are you gonna be a real Native American
Yeah, I'm gonna go hunt
and fucking
all the
fight,
Yeah.
or are you just gonna lay down and fucking die and end up on a reservation?
The slavers, the European slavers, were like the Native Americans.
Oh well, it's not like they ended up because they didn't fight. It's like Native Americans, they ended up there because they're fucking completely out of their league when it comes to weapons.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could see that, like,
And the analogy too is like you got to use your brain because the fucking info you're getting is a weapon.
right. Now, one of the things I remember learning, and I've seen this written down, um, where they were talking about enslaving Native Americans, and they couldn't because the Native Americans would have fought to the death rather
Exactly.
than being enslaved. But I mean, you could see that, the whole, like the Iroquois, for example, they traded for furs for weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while that was happening, they were hunting animals that really weren't giving them a lot of food, but the furs were worth a lot to the Europeans. So they would hunt those animals. But because they were hunting those animals, weren't taking care of their normal obligations, and the women had to pick up those jobs, and that was part of the collapse of the Iroquois society, is hunting those animals to trade just for weapons for manufactured goods, when really their society wasn't set up to deal with these manufactured goods coming in out of nowhere.
Well, to me, the analogy is like we're being invaded by foreign countries.
Oh yeah,
And it's mainly corporation thinking, and
I think it's a small clique of international bankers.
I think you're right.
So I've said
And
that
they're
'cause I
telling
was
you
there.
they're using fucking super small fucking statistics that being framed in the media, the mass media, which they mainly own and control for sure. They're using this super small thing to take away your rights, your guns, your freedom of speech. They're using these super small arguments, but they're fucking blowing them out of proportion into this huge fucking big screen fucking or movie screen size fucking thought in your head when it's just bullshit. If you knew the actual numbers, you'd realize the things killing Americans, it's not guns.
No, it's definitely not.
It's fucking diabetes, fucking heart disease, fucking
Sure.
cancer. That
Obesity.
there's go look up pie charts for this stuff. You'll find fucking like terrorism and gun violence is doesn't even really measure on the fucking pie chart, but it's the main thing, the overwhelming majority that mainstream media fucking reports on.
Mm-hmm.
Completely out of context, reframed fucking arguments being paid for by large corporations are making you want to give up your rights.
Yes. Fuck that. Fuck those corporations.
And
I'm about to get some beans, 40 cans of beans, and dig a hole. Put some ammo in there.
and people, when you talk like this to them, their eyes glaze over, and they're just like, "Oh my god, there's conspiracy theories," and it's like you got to be really ignorant and fucking naive, just to be able to not stand back and see that.
Well, I mean, that's like the monkeypox thing, right? And the second conference of Event 201 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where they were saying that, last year they're saying, like, predicting what happens if a monkeypox happens and what happens if it happens on March 22nd next year. And then it happens. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows up on that day in a bunch of different fucking countries out of nowhere. When you said what would happen if it happened this way?
It's like they're pissing in your face and
yes,
calling it rain.
Calling it rain.
Yep. And they're laughing because they're rich and they're happy and they have boats and they have jets and they just fly them all over the place.
There's people rich enough out there that they just stay on boats all the fucking time. And
Yeah.
that's where they live.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the fucking ocean.
They could give a fuck less what you feel and how you feel. It's just fucking crazy. I had another point to bring up about the fucking eyes glazing over on people and they just don't believe you. They don't want to hear it. They ain't got time to think about it. Makes them feel bad and icky. And I totally lost the point. I got to get a pad and paper and be able to write stuff down.
Ingenious.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to acknowledge this week we don't have any notes. We're just going off the cuff.
I have one note. Something I wanted to mention.
Oh, fuck. He just ruined the whole premise of today's show.
I had one note.
Today was no notes.
Oh, I have one. This was a report. This is reported by Facts Matter, China Uncensored, America Undercover, that they found documents that
I have the documents.
That since the Bush administration, that the executive office has had an internet kill switch.
Yeah. You, I think, sent me that note.
I sent. That's the only note I sent this week.
And it's it doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm just surprised they never used it.
Oh man.
Or did they just get these internet companies to go on board so much that they didn't? The threat of it never came up.
I mean, they more or less practiced a soft kill or some type of like they probably didn't want to be able to shut the internet off. They wanted some other stuff. So the whole Alex Jones wiping him off the internet was like an alternate method to keep information.
Dude, I've seen things get scrubbed from the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it in real time too. You'd be like, I've seen videos where guys are doing a video about like a Twitter thing, and you can see comments getting deleted and fucking the reposts, and they're like, "Holy shit! Yeah, okay, they just took away fucking, 10,000 fucking."
Right. I had a screenshot of Cuomo's executive order to put people into nursing homes to accept COVID patients.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to go show somebody. And so I went on to the New York Department of Health where the order was mentioned.
Or it was posted.
Yeah. And it was gone. And I was like, where the fuck did this go? And I went to the same spot on the website. I pulled up my screenshot. I'm like, it's the same exact spot. It's gone.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff happens on the reg because they're trying to hide stuff. But there's a couple different archive websites that have probably you can go dig it up, Wayback Machine. But that's not even that nefarious where they just scrub an article or something like that. That's nefarious stuff.
This was an executive order they scrubbed.
Oh, okay. That's pretty
Government,
nefarious.
yeah.
That's
Government and executive
that
order.
was a or a declarative fucking statement on government, the chain of government command.
Yeah, and they scrubbed it.
Damn.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can
that's
still
fucked.
find it, but it's they scrubbed it off the state sites. But yeah, I've seen it, especially that Hunter
I mean,
Biden thing.
we've seen it on YouTube. I mean, we were
Right.
earlier fucking adopters of YouTube, and then we've had that discussion before where I told you about the review of Batman with fucking George Clooney. It was just a video of dude shitting in a fucking like glass jar. He's like, "This is my review of Batman," and this is the stuff that was on YouTube back in the day.
Yeah, when it was the Wild West.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I appreciated those days, and I loved it, and it's where, um, I feel like there was free speech, and somewhere, you know, in the past 10 years, you saw things being scrubbed. Like
Oh yeah.
you'd be watching like these documentaries that you'd watch or all these news fucking things that you would like return to like show
Yeah.
people.
Show people.
They're gone.
Gone.
They're fucking gone.
Yep.
They've been scrubbed. They've been taken out of
Can't
YouTube.
find them anywhere.
The main one is the MK2 fucking Senate hearings or congressional hearings.
Okay.
The MK Ultra
Yeah.
fucking where they have to admit that, oh yeah, the CIA has like fucking Project Mockingbird and shit tons of fucking agents and pretty
That
much
was in
every
the 70s, right?
yeah, late
Yeah.
70s fucking they're like admitting to it, having high ranking fucking agents in every fucking TV and media and
All of the
movie
media.
organization.
Yes.
That's like why I've been feeling pretty unsteady lately about like the industry, entertainment industry in general lately. I'm like, is it all paid for basically by fucking dark fucking government
A
money?
lot of it is, not all of it.
There's a shit ton of it
shit
though.
ton.
I would be even like,
Well, you know who told the truth about that, and it's been telling the truth about that? It's fucking Mel Gibson.
that's why he's blacklisted.
Yeah,
huh?
he's been telling the truth about that for years. Speaking of that, though, you went and saw Top Gun last week.
I did see Top Gun.
What'd you think?
I thought it was better than that Obi-Wan Kenobi shit they just put out.
I've been watching Obi-Wan, yeah.
You watch all three?
No, I fell asleep last night in the middle. I'm going to rewatch it tonight. The last one.
I'm not a fan.
I had to pause it in the middle of the Vader fight and never went back to it.
Because it's fucking stupid.
It's fucking stupid.
It's basically shitting all over the original fucking movies because if you're going to take direct dialogue from, the original movies, it doesn't make any sense now. It doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, last time we met, I was but a learner. Now I am the master.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Now it doesn't make any sense
No, you're right.
is they fucking have this whole new fucking
Fight scene.
And the other thing that fucking Leia, the first two episodes, hey, spoilers, everyone. First two episodes, don't listen if you haven't seen Obi-Wan. And we'll get back to Top Gun in a second. First two episodes, Leia, or whatever it is, whenever she comes in, she can run away from anybody. She's magic fucking badass, She can make grown-ass people stumble over branches, and she goes through all the little cracks, and
Right.
she can escape everyone. But then this next episode, she can't fucking escape fucking down a straight-ass hallway. It's taking her the whole episode to run. And then the one girl, goes back for Obi-Wan. You might not have seen the last part of the episode, but it's like this Reva and this other girl never even cross in this one-way tunnel. I'm just like, how does this not happen? What's going on?
Some bad editing.
This horrible fucking writing. You're going to fucking get to you're going to see. You're going to be like, what the fuck? What do they want me to believe? That here, the transport from part 2, they get on a fucking transport. You're telling me it doesn't have a fucking, an itinerary or a fucking, where's this transport going? It's going to their mining colony. Okay, why do I got to send out probes?
Right. There's no schedule. There's
fucking stupid. And, I love Ewan McGregor as fucking Obi-Wan, but he's bought into the woke machine, and it's just unfortunate.
Well, he's fucking getting paid millions of dollars to do it.
I heard he was crying the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
About people like, man, Reva sucks. And it's like, that doesn't make you a racist when you say Reva sucks.
whatever her name is, Moses or something, Reva Moses.
You know she's never watched a fucking Star Wars movie fucking before. She's admitted to this in her own fucking. It's like, how can you give people, that don't give a fuck about Star Wars a shot in Star Wars?
That's
You
weird.
you watch like fucking
There's so many fanatics out there.
John Boyega was amazing in Star Wars, because he's a fucking fan.
He's a
Even
fan.
though they didn't give him shit to work with, I was hoping he'd be a friggin' Jedi from the get. I was like, I want
You
him to
talking
be.
about the Mandalorian?
No, I'm talking about John Boyega, fucking Finn from fucking.
Oh, okay.
They got him holding a lightsaber, and you're like, fuck, okay, maybe he's gonna be a fucking Jedi. This would be cool. But then they make him a fucking like bitch ass stormtrooper that just
Yeah.
is in fucking constantly like in love with Rey, but not fucking being. She shoots him down all the time.
That's
or something.
another thing about Star Wars. Like, all right, so if you go back and you look at the movie posters, right?
Well, yeah, you want to talk about fucking some goddamn hypocrisy.
Right. So if you look at the movie posters in the Western world, it's got Finn prominently shown, as he should be.
Huge fucking part of the poster.
As he should be, right? But then when you look at the advertisements for China or Saudi Arabia, he's fucking little, and you barely see him.
Like a little Ant-Man.
Now, why did
They shrunk him all the way down.
Why is it that they shrunk the only black guy on the poster so like you could barely see him in China and Saudi Arabia, but not here?
Go look it up. It's real.
That's because they fucking know that the Chinese and the Saudis and the Pakis are all fucking racist.
Yeah. And then they call every American's a racist when they're like, you know what? We don't like this character. And the other thing was that it was a preemptive fucking attack, too, on the fans. I mean, you can go watch all the fucking other people that bitch about this, but it's just frustrating that Barney does that with his mic all the time. But I think it's a headphone thing, so you're not going to hear it. But it's frustrating that they came out before they even released the first episode with this thing that said, we're excited for our new character, Reva, and her adventures. And if anyone makes her feel uncomfortable, then, we will fucking be, whatever, angry, and we will say we resist or something like that. And it's just like a preemptive attack. They knew they were going to get fucking criticism over her character because, whether they believe it or not, they think it was going to be racist. But for the most part, it's because I believe somebody watching it was like, this sucks.
I've heard bad reviews about her.
I wasn't really particularly
Chris didn't like her character.
well, I thought it was kind of bad acting. I didn't like her acting. I thought, when she was screaming Kenobi at the end of one of the episodes, I was just like, that doesn't sound like she's really pissed. It just sounds like bad acting. You're just screaming your lines. Character design wise too, I didn't like the fucking Oriental guy or the fucking wannabe Darth Vader guy.
Oh, you're talking about the one guy. He reminded me of like a futuristic fucking Big Trouble in Little China storm. 'Cause
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
I was like, this is Storm in fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Fucking rated.
Yeah, that's funny. I do I see that. And it was but so, I mean, the design of them characters, it's like, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I can't say that I would know how to do it any better. I mean, if I had to sit down and think about it, maybe I could come up with some cool designs. But to me, those Empire designs, they just look like you're just ripping off Darth Vader. You're just ripping off Vader's fucking costume.
Right.
I never seen any other costumes like that in the fucking Empire.
Right.
And you're just fucking ripping him off. I mean, Darth Maul, he didn't have any of that shit. It was just a black Jedi fucking
He had a
thing.
robe.
Yeah. It wasn't hard plastics and
No.
fucking, black fucking lights or like little lights on the black stuff.
And I'm familiar with those characters, the Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, but they don't look like that.
They don't look like that.
No.
They did have lightsabers though. They did have the Force. But
Yeah.
They, the Emperor's Inquisitors didn't wear armor, as far as more.
It's fucking, I don't know. It's just me bitching about something that I
So
feel.
back to Top Gun. What'd you think of that?
One more point. It's very similar to what they did with Luke. They took a character that's supposed to be a hero and they made him a bumbling old fool.
They do that with all the male characters.
Yeah.
Especially if they're
And
white.
that's why Top Gun was amazing, because they decided to honor the character and made him just as fun and lovable and fucking um a heroic as ever.
Mm.
And it was fucking great. And it was not scared to be patriotic, which I think is amazing. You know, I'm not like huge fan of the military, because the military industrial complex, but I do like heroes that will fight for fucking America.
Right, what they
And
believe is right, and for their neighbors.
exactly. And that was amazing that they went there, and Tom Cruise did a great job. And there was no overall like the message fucking
Mhm.
shit coming at you. I mean, there was just a strong Jennifer Connelly in it, was as a strong fucking,
Jennifer
woman.
Connelly's in it.
Yeah, she's amazing. Fucking as in the first movie, they make mention to um Maverick dating some admiral's daughter or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, and it was Penny something, and she plays Penny. She was
Okay.
just mentioned in the first movie,
Yes,
but
I
they bring
remember.
her.
I watched it not that long ago. So.
Yeah, so she's playing that character that was mentioned only by name in the first movie. And it's just fucking good. She was a strong fucking female character that was like showed him how to like sail, and it was like, yeah, you can see that they're giving mouth service to that movement, but they're not overly like making him a dumbass.
Right.
You know, they're like, yeah, girls know shit guys don't know sometimes, and he's
She's also an admiral's daughter, so
she should know how to sail.
she should
Yeah,
have some.
yeah, exactly. So it all worked really well.
Makes sense.
And the fucking flight scenes, it was all in camera, none of this fucking CGI bullshit. Sure, they put a little couple things in for like explosions and whatnot.
Right. They didn't blow up planes to do this.
Yeah, but the flying scenes were fucking great. I loved it.
So you recommend the movie then, huh?
Yeah, I would say go see it in the theaters. It's fucking that much fun. It's a
Maybe
lot of fun. I'll go with the second viewing if you want to go check it
I'll
out.
go drive through.
Oh shit, I haven't been up there in a while. Let's do it.
I got a car now.
I got a car now.
I got a car that can make like trips and shit.
Let's see what's playing at the fucking drive-ins. Yeah.
Kawasaki driving.
Drive-in movie. We got the highway drive-in. That's the one at Soccer.
That town's changed a lot. I went through there this week.
Driving by yourself?
No, I have drove my aunt up to my aunt's.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, they got the Cask and Rasker or something like that up there. I think
there's all these new
bars and
businesses and bars. Yeah.
Yeah, people are all hip.
That Cask and Raskers, that's been there a while. That's been there for a few years.
Yeah, I know it's not new, but it was like one of the things when that came in. It was part of the change.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of, there was that deli there too, that cult-run deli, but I forget what.
8:55 Top Gun Maverick. We could go tonight.
I'm not gonna make it tonight, but I gotta eat.
Yeah, I'm fucking running on low myself. That yesterday was hell, like we were talking about before.
You were busting your ass when I saw you.
Yeah, you didn't even see me downstairs. It was like fucking nuts. And Jasper is an animal. Animal. The dude's fucking dragging around that hose on his shoulder in like 100-degree fucking sauna temperature, barely being able to breathe because he's got a respirator on, and he's doing it for like fucking 4 hours straight. It's fucking hardcore warrior. And I'm not in that kind of shape. I used to be, but
you were busting your ass though. I saw you. You were fucking gray.
Yeah, the hair with all the shit in it from down. Yeah, being in the yeah. I want to see what's going on at the goddamn drive-in in Greenville. That's what I want to see.
Holy shit!
What?
I haven't been to Greenville in fucking forever.
I like it out there. It's just a single screen, and they usually have older movies.
That's on 32, right?
I believe you're correct.
Is that Albany County? Or is that Greene County still? Probably
Greenville, New York, 12083. I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's a zip code.
Yeah, but that's the. Oh yeah,
it means they're older than Saugerties. That's all it means.
Oh yeah.
One,
Oh.
two. What is it?
1206383.
Yeah,
Something like that.
they got a zip code before Sorgatys did. That's all. We're 12477. Right. So
12477.
yeah.
So Malden had one before them. 12453.
Well, whenever Malden Post Office came in, it's weird because
12453 would be before.
1, 2. What is it?
12453 would be before 12477.
No, I guess I'm just completely wrong about that.
I mean, you might be right. Maybe Malden was there first. It was on the Hudson.
True. And it wasn't part of Kingston ever. So maybe you're right. Sardi's was part of Kingston.
Oh, and then it was like split off.
Yeah. Well, Ulster County used to go to Coxsackie, and Catskill was in Ulster County.
Really?
Yeah, but then Albany County was so big in the beginning of the state's history. The state was also bigger. There was no Vermont. Vermont didn't exist.
Oh.
Vermont was New York. And what the fuck? I didn't even touch anything. And so Albany County was everything north of here, everything north of Ulster County, everything north of Coxsackie was Albany County. And it went all the way to New Hampshire because parts of New Hampshire were also part of New York. But what had happened is that the Knickerbockers, who had a lot of money in New York City and were old Dutch money that's in the city, they started to move up to Albany and taking over, and the state wanted to cut down on Albany's county's power over the state, so they made it smaller.
Oh, man.
There was 13 original counties in New York.
Wow.
I only remember that because it's 13. It reminds me of the 13 colonies.
So The Natural's playing at the Greenville. That's a good movie.
Fucking Robert Redford.
Yeah. Bobby.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wilford Brimley. Diabetes.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley. Diabetes is in there.
Glenn Close. Kim Basinger.
She's hot. Vicky Vale.
Damn, if I knew that was fucking...
Vicky Vale.
Hold the press.
Did Berlin do the soundtrack on Top Gun?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they had... Who the fuck did they have do that?
Take my breath away.
That was Giorgio Moroder.
Was it? I thought Berlin did that.
And Giorgio also wrote fucking Danger Zone and had fucking Kenny Loggins sing
Kenny
on top.
Loggins, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a Kenny song. It was a fucking Giorgio song. Highway to the Danger Zone.
Tim Robbins is in the original one?
Yeah. He was I forget what his name was, but I watched it recently as well. Merlin.
Berlin, Top Gun.
Timmy Roberts.
Berlin sung Take My Breath Away for Top Gun. Might have been written by somebody else.
I thought Giorgio had a hand in that.
It says Berlin, Mark Ayers, and Harold F. Faltmeyer.
Huh. You know, this sucks, man. The fucking movies at the
Wait a second.
Greenville suck.
It was also
this
on,
weekend was good. Totally missed it.
Take My Breath Away was also in Born on the 4th of July.
Maybe.
That's what it says.
Mask of Zorro's next weekend. Okay, who fucking cares about that? Desperately Seeking Suzanne is after that. And then Benny in June.
We were inverted.
Maybe.
Inverted? Yeah, we were inverted. What were you doing inverted? We were keeping up foreign relations. You were what? We were giving the bird.
You know, the finger.
Finger. Yes, I know.
Oh, I hate it when it does that.
I love that fucking movie.
Holy shit.
My aunt came home in like 1986 or whatever the fuck that year the movie came out on She went out and bought it. We did have one, but it was a piece of shit. She came home with a brand new VCR because
Just to watch that
just
movie.
to watch that movie.
She's like, "Fuck that piece of shit.
Yeah.
I gotta get Tom Cruise and fucking
Yeah.
just none of this fucking."
And me and her watched it like 10 times.
That's awesome. That's a great movie. I mean, I didn't even think about that. How Top Gun probably could have affected VHS sales because I know that Ghostbusters did. Fucking Ghostbusters kind of helped bring in the whole VHS age.
I can see that. I remember going to like Awesome Audio, and they had like the laser discs, and shit, like, and beta tapes and whatever. Like, yeah, they used to have big old
I remember
discs.
the
that
big fuckers.
looked like compact discs, but they were
I think
big.
we had I think I might still have one of those over at my dad's.
Your family always
property.
had technology first.
I remember going into fucking what is it? Was it Video 2 where the fucking Jimmy worked
Yeah.
and fucking just scouring for hours and even talking about movies with him. I mean, he probably should have been in movies instead of comedy because his comedy sucks anymore. It was okay at one time.
It was okay. I mean, he never curses, so there is that. I give him that.
I guess that's clean. That's
He's clean,
nice.
Whatever. His dad's the funny one though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
His dad's the one that probably started
Oh,
watching SNL and was like, "This is fun."
Well, we couldn't get him to come out on Saturday. We can go over, and we were allowed to hang out and drink and whatever, play games, but he wouldn't go out on Saturday nights.
But I just remember talking to him about movies, and he was very into it, and he was a big movie buff. That's why he worked at the fucking place.
Right, exactly.
You know, I feel like interesting thought to be like, what if he actually got into movies instead, like director or actor or something? Probably have some really good stuff to watch.
He was talking to me about This is kind of embarrassing. He was talking to me about Fever Pitch.
That was a shitty movie that I never saw, right?
I never saw it either, and I had to have this conversation with the star of Fever Pitch. I have no idea what the fuck.
Was that with the Queen? No, that was Taxi.
That was Taxi. I didn't watch that either.
But whatever. Yeah.
He was telling me about how he met his wife.
On that movie?
He met her on that movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good for him.
Well, he married Drew Barrymore's best friend.
After dating Drew?
I don't think he dated Drew.
No? I thought he did.
But here's the thing. I was friends with Fabrizio from fucking... What the hell's the name of that band?
Fabrizio?
The Strokes.
Strokes.
From the Strokes. And I tripped out with him. I spent a lot of time with him. He ended up marrying Drew Barrymore. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, how come you're not getting in them circles?
I'm not in those. I know everybody in the circle. I'm not here. Then one time it was Fabrizio, Dennis, and Jimmy going on tour. I'm like, how did I not go about it?
Why did I get on tour, you fucks?
I should have invited me.
You guys are fucking fucks. But yeah, the VHS is fucking Top Gun, 80s movies. And what's funny is to show you just like in a metric how shitty fucking Kathleen Kennedy's doing with Star Wars is that it was the 4th most searched thing this week. So even Obi-Wan Kenobi can't be like a highlight to them anymore. There was Stranger Things was number 1. Everybody's watching Stranger Things.
I watched Stranger Things.
And it was fucking great, you know, because the creators are still in control. The Duffer Brothers, they're still the ones making it, you know, and they give a fuck about what they're making.
I saw some D&D discrepancies, but we'll let that go.
All right, well, maybe there was some shot shit as far as Dungeons and Dragons
I don't know
go.
if they ever played D&D.
It's still nice though that they had it going.
yeah.
You know, the Hellfire Club angle was all fucking awesome. The shots from the club that was obviously at like the drama room, or was at the inside the drama fucking stage. I was like, this is fun. This is cool.
You know, when you guys were talking about it 2 weeks ago, I hadn't seen it yet, really.
Okay.
It was on, but I didn't pay much attention to it. But then I decided to watch it, and I was, what's the one character's name? The heavy metal guy that's older, a couple years older than them. The DM.
The DM. What the fuck is his name there? Fucking. What the fuck?
But they nailed this character. They did.
He was pretty. The only thing I thought was a little over the top was his lunch um table fucking walking. I was like, nobody did that back in the 80s.
Did what?
Walking on the lunch tables.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that might have been a little over the top. But
I read an article about that guy. The actor didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was, so he had to research it to figure out.
well, I guess yeah, that goes against my fucking whole Reva fucking rant about her not watching a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, at least
It doesn't mean it can't be done,
At
you
least he
know.
researched it. I mean, that is acting though, not being part of something and then portraying that.
Right.
That's like
Speaking of that, like my favorite character is fucking Murray from this season. It's fucking hilarious what they gave him to do.
the Jewish guy that speaks Russian.
Yeah. And he's like fucking uh at the dinner table and he's like, "Who is this guy?" You know, and then fucking they keep talking, the conversation keeps going on. He's like, "No, your risotto's smacking." And then like the end of the scene he's like eating, he's like, "I still don't know who this guy is." I'm just like little subtle fucking writing stuff, and really cool.
I thought it was funny when she's like, Winona Ryder's like, "You're a black belt." Yeah, but that's in class. They beat up the pilot, knock him out, and then the plane's gonna crash.
It's Eddie. How
Eddie,
could I forget that? It's like
Eddie,
basically Eddie Munson.
Eddie Munson. That's it.
Yeah, it's like Eddie Monster. But yeah, he did a great job. And
You know that that was a big part of the '80s, and one of the underlying plot. I don't care what's the word for it. One of the underlying themes in the
okay.
series is the satanic panic of the '80s.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been talking about the satanic panic, and I grew up Catholic,
Yeah.
and it never fucking registered on Catholic's radar. Like I never went to church and heard about Dungeons and Dragons. I brought D&D books to church and played at the school, so it never registered on Catholic's
Do you
radar.
think it was they just didn't buy into the bullshit that the media was spinning? Or do you think they just didn't pay attention to the media?
Who Catholics?
Yeah,
Why?
because I
Why?
remember it was like 60 Minutes fucking D&D.
Yeah, I had to watch that. My grandfather.
Um,
Um,
Did he give a fuck?
no, he went through my monster manual and saw the banshee
Uh-huh.
right up for a banshee, and he's like, "These are just Celtic myths." I'm like, "Yeah, some of them are. Some of them are Norse," and that was the end of it. But Catholics have a long history, and anything that you've done in your life that you feel bad about, somewhere there's a handful of saints that did the same thing, and they're saints now. So
Right.
they don't really panic that much about shit, you know.
Satanic panic.
It was all that heavy metal is Satanism and D&D is Satanism. They threw a couple other things in there.
Well, then it went to video games and blood.
MTV.
I'm gonna try something. Just stay right there.
We've been on for over 2 hours now.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that hurt.
But I guess that's not it.
Hey, we started streaming 2 hours ago. I'm trying to think of what else I got to talk about. Building a medieval city in 1/60th scale currently. Building a little inn. Having a hard time with some of the smaller aspects, and it's a lot more precise than any of the natural terrain I've done before. You know, so like for instance, I was building that cavern system. I took a break from that, but caverns have there's no right angles in caverns. So, you know, like when you have to put 15 pieces together and they all have to be exactly precisely the right size. By the time you go to put the 15 piece in, you're like, holy shit, this is way off. you know.
Yeah, I ain't been doing shit really creatively. I mean, I did do some music writing last week, but I don't know.
I've been playing that handpan.
Hand pan?
My mom gave me a drum when we moved.
That's nice.
Yeah, she didn't have any use for it. So I've been playing the hand pan this week. I've got a couple tunes written on it. Sounds like a doorbell, kind of.
Really?
It's hard to make a. You can't get any discordant sounds from it. It's hard to make a bad sound out of this fucking thing. It's very soothing sounding, celestial.
So is it like
Sounds a little bit like a steel drum.
okay, but does it have like a longer sustain?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah, it sticks
Yeah,
around.
yeah. It sticks around. Okay, well, we are at 220. I didn't think we were even close to that, but fuck it. Let's call it. I mean, this was another show where it was just kind of sorry, folks. We could have done better, but we didn't.
Whatever.
But we're doing it.
Well, we're doing it. And to that person watching, who's probably me, thanks for watching.
There was another view. I don't know who it was,
I don't know.
but thanks for watching.
Remember 70 years of Queen Elizabeth? My God.
70 freaking years.
Yeah, it's Platinum Jubilee.
Dude, I watched Jimmy Dore because the phone calls with the impersonations.
Uh-huh.
They did one with fucking Prince Charles, and it fucking had me cracking up.
He's a fucking nut job. I've heard older interviews with him, and he's got some fucking crazy ideas.
Yeah, they're all nuts. All those world leaders. Just remember, if you're out there and you want to not be a dead Indian, don't let them take your rights away.
Yeah, don't let that happen. Only God can take those rights away in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
I don't think he's showing up anytime soon.
Nope. So make sure, yeah, the problem with gun violence, it's not the gun, it's our shitty fucking society promoting poor values.
Well, that and they fucking
Medical, pharmaceutical industry.
medical pharmaceutical. He's gone crazy. They're prescribing people shit that they don't need. It's having bad side effects. There's no more asylums in the country that I'm aware of. Maybe some states have.
Yeah,
them.
why the fuck did those disappear?
There's a combination of cost and the abuse that was happening.
But they were also subsidized by the government, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
We gotta have fun. We gotta bring them back.
We should go to the one in Poughkeepsie. I hear it's haunted.
Is it just shut down?
Oh, they tore it down. I forgot.
Hmm.
Never mind.
They still have mental health facilities like Golden Hill and shit like that.
Yeah, they do. But they don't have.
But that's just to like pull people in, let them calm down, and push them
make sure
back
they don't
out.
kill themselves and push them back out.
Yeah.
Then you're walking over them on some street in fucking Manhattan. The next
Asylums, like they're just there for the rest
They're
of their
there.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was abuse that happened in those places, unfortunately. But
Yeah, and a lot of probably experimentation.
But now we know better, and we can watch them, and we know that they're prone to abuse, just like nursing homes are, and we can make laws that make the repercussions for doing something or abusing somebody in a mental home more severe. So we could keep a better eye on it. Technology's evolved that we have cameras. We can put them in every room fucking now.
Mm-hmm.
So
We just need better humans in America.
yeah, that's one reason why I don't like going to the city is because I don't like walking over fucking mentally ill people in the street.
Right.
I fucking breaks my heart.
I mean, even in Catskill, I mean, I'm not going to call out any names, but there's people that walk on the street, and it's like you're just forced to talk to them because they're just going to come up to you and start talking. And it's not, that I don't feel bad for them or, I don't, I usually try and stick to the old adage, fucking whether Jesus was real or not, pretend anybody you're talking to could be Jesus.
Could be.
So I stick to that, and I try to be nice and be like, but it's just, they're going to ask for money. They're going to fucking do this and do that. And some days you just are fucking fed up with life. And the last thing you need is fucking, to feel like someone's basically just letting their crazy out on you because they got nothing else to do.
Try and take advantage of you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Abusing your
kindness. Yeah. So it's I hear you. It's not fun. It's probably not fun to be crazy.
No, it's
meant,
not.
but it's also they should have a place to go instead of just standing
Well,
around.
see, they did do that. They did give them a place to go, and that's where the whole, the housing for the crazies came.
The Section 8.
Yeah, and they decide that they're gonna just, we'll put them by the house, the homeless people, and that way we won't have to see them on the street. Well, a lot of it's a mental, issue, a mental illness issue. So just putting them in a house doesn't make them better. It just makes them in a house now.
And then they want to walk outside the house, and
Yeah,
then
of
they got a
course.
place to stay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we really need to get into care for the mentally ill. Need to stop creating them and encouraging mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's rampant in our fucking society when people can't define what a woman is.
Fucking victim mentality.
Oh, that's gone out of control. You'll hear it. Like you hear people say, like, as a blank, blank, blank.
Yeah. Like you're saying, you're trying to give us your credentials as a victim. My victim credentials.
My victim credentials are as a blank, blank, blank.
Yeah.
Fuck you. How about as a person? Just say it. Can't you just say it as a human being? As someone who speaks English, say it. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. Yeah, as a human, I would like to complain about something. That's better than like, as a black lesbian, a Native American, strangulation and starvation survivor. It's like,
Yeah, and there is people who are marginalized by class or whatever, and I would say that if you look at some of the missing people in like British Columbia, right? There's an odd number of missing Native women in British Columbia.
yeah, it's not good.
It's not
fucking
good.
not good. They're
It's
being
just-
taken
They're
advantage
just
of.
being stolen is what's happened.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But I mean, that does happen, but it's not like the end all. It's not your total
It's not. No, don't make it who you are.
who you are. And that's exactly, that's what the Nazis did. They made their identity who they were. It became their
Mhm.
personality. And I remember in the 90s, that was a sentiment. Like, if your identity became your personality, you're shot.
Well, I feel like no. When we were growing up, your identity. I mean, I felt like the first back push. A regurgitation of counterculture when we were in high school. Gen X. They wanted your identity to be fucking so unique that, fucking, of course, you're not like anybody else.
Yeah, that was the thing.
So it was more about fucking.
That's a common thing amongst youth, though.
Yeah, I know. And that's why, a lot of that Bill Maher thing is like by the time it's, fucking 2050 or whatever, we're all going to be gay. It's
Yeah.
because the kids are right now, that's the cool thing to do is
The
be
trend
fucking
continues.
trans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what young people do. They want to be unique. They want to be the fucking center of the universe.
He caught a lot of slack for that, but all he did was basic math.
I know. I actually didn't see as much pushback as I thought he would get. Tell you the truth. Who did they go after that week instead? It was
Well, they were going after Ricky Gervais. A little
yeah.
bit.
They went after Ricky instead of him. Because he made some trans jokes,
Oh,
which were kind of funny.
And then he replied with a joke. I can't remember what it was. He's great.
And I loved his whole shtick on being like a millionaire or a billionaire. Like that whole time.
I'm a straight white multimillionaire. There's not many of us.
He's like, I'm the minority.
I'm a minority. Less than 1% of the population is a straight white millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He's funny.
Did you get to watch The Northman?
No, I didn't get to see that one yet.
Have you heard about it?
I've heard mixed reviews.
What?
I've heard mixed reviews.
From who?
Well, there's people who say it's some kind of like homage to white supremacy, and there's other people that think it's great.
Oh, yeah, of course. People are going to say it's homage to white supremacy. Because there's fucking white people in it. So dumb.
Yeah, it's gotten a little out of control.
It's a great movie, I think. I haven't seen any of the director's other stuff, but supposedly he's really good. He did The Witch.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it. And he did another
It was
movie.
a good movie. It was about like
White supremacy.
it was about white supremacy. And when the hell did the black people become like the thing? there's a lot of black people in this country. I've known black people my whole life. I'm definitely not racist against them. Like, I'll pick another group maybe, but not them because they're everywhere. I've known them my whole.
How'd they become what?
How'd that become the target for like racism or whatever? I'm like, most people who are white probably know a black person.
Yeah, or many.
Many, right?
Yeah.
I there's a lot of the more marginalized, smaller groups,
Yeah.
minorities. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're some of the coolest people I know, tell you the truth. Like when
Whites and blacks been living together in this country for 400 fucking years. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
I think we got it down to best.
It's just all made up bullshit by this fucking corporate fucking paid for press. That's really what it comes down to. It's called brainwashing, and it's a fucking Project Mockingbird. It's still in effect,
Oh yeah, that's been going.
even
on.
though they don't want to say it's fucking going.
That's going.
All right, well, you got to go fucking eat.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today.
What's going on with this time shit here? Oh shit, yeah, we really did go over. It's going on 8:00. So, anyways, it's been a wonderful fucking time getting back into the studio here.
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
Bigger and better with a Joe Biden costume.
I did that.
I did that. I did that. You fucking moron. What did he say today or yesterday? It was something like he's like, oh, they say families across America are feeling more positive about their savings than they ever have since they started recording the data in 2013. It's like he was trying to say how good the economy is. Families are feeling more positive about their savings and their earnings than ever before. I'm like, who took this? Because they should be fired immediately.
Exactly.
Whoever made this fucking information up.
We're in the most economic trying times in my lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to some older people, and they were like, "Yeah, it was similar during the late Nixon, early Carter years, you know. But they don't know. They're like, it doesn't. Who knows where it's gonna go? But it feels similar.
Well, I mean, the gas crisis of the '70s was manufactured. Just the gas shortage in the '70s, or people going, hey, yeah, serving this license plate, ending odd license plates today. Or whatever.
Yeah.
That was all manufactured. There actually was no shortage.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That was just the OPEC company saying, we're going to raise prices because we want to.
We want a price gouge.
Yeah, that's all it was.
We're going to cut fucking production and make it a rare fucking thing. Yeah.
And then the United States went to OPEC and said, okay, but you only trade for oil in U.S. dollars. And that went on for 40 years. Now it's no longer a thing. Now Saudi Arabia is trading oil. They're trading to China in Chinese dollars.
I've seen a bunch of countries starting to, it's over. It's over, people.
And that is going to when the bottom hits that inflation, because all these countries right now and all their banks are holding U.S. dollars just so oil companies can buy fucking oil from the Middle East, and that's going to be gone. They're going to dump that money back into the U.S.
We're going to have to start minting our own money, public, like communities.
I'm going to buy a wheelbarrow just for a wallet just so I can buy bread.
All right. That's enough doom and gloom. Hopefully we can get something changes with the masses and they start waking up faster. That's why we're here. We had enough.
Thank me for watching.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Sanctimonious Barnes for watching. Saintly Barnes. We got a count view going.
Hey, no problem.
We totally lost our whole audience by moving your ma. So
those dirtbags.
You know, they came and were like, what? And then they're like, they're not here this week.
I think it's over.
So we're washed up. We're all washed up. It was been fun. No, we're just going to start from scratch and grind our way right the fuck back.
Yeah, we'll grind back.
Right the fuck back.
We'll be bigger and better. We'll
start
advertising soon.
Yeah, advertising. We're going to get our good friend Chris coming and doing some acting for us maybe, or producing or writing, whatever.
Don't forget, get an Adidas tracksuit for Gopniks in Ukraine.
Send us some of your Adidas tracksuits because we're gonna pump them. We're gonna send them to Ukraine. We're gonna start a fund, or maybe we'll have a fucking telethon. Tracksuits for Ukraines.
Shit.
All right, we gotta go. What is he doing? I don't know. That ain't nothing. Don't look at that. I'll talk to you later.
It's legal.
Remember, wherever you go, there you are.